those fire perimeter areas.
Officials asking people to avoid the area to help first responders focus on mitigating fire risk and addressing hot spots. There's a question of whether workers in Colorado who were fired for not getting vaccinated for COVID could get relief through the courts. Attorney Scott Robinson says it's not exactly cut and dried when it comes to any legal challenge.
I would not be surprised in the least to see lawsuits being filed. But filing a lawsuit is easy. Winning a lawsuit, maybe not so easy.
The city and county of Denver did have a vaccine mandate, but that's since been lifted. Some employers in Colorado have kept the vaccination rules in place. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.
Overall, it's a good drive, but we do have one trouble spot right now. There's a semi that has tipped over, blocking the two right lanes at the merge from north and southbound I-25 on the ramp there to eastbound I-70. Really impacting mostly your northbound I-25 drive trying to get onto eastbound I-70. So expect delay that's backed up traffic into downtown. Not affecting I-70 really, though. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly cloudy, a high of 80 today. Tonight's low 44. For tomorrow, a 30% chance of rain and a high of 59. Currently, it is 59. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
It's Brian with Advanced Mud Jacking. 2022 is here, and it's going to be another busy year. Denver is growing, but concrete is still sinking. Porches, driveways, floors, they all settle over time. Advanced Mud Jacking at yahoo.com. 303-424-9441.
Hi, it's Mandy Connell. Join my friends Gary Bell and Brad Pollock for the Bell and Pollock Legal Show right here on KHOW every Saturday morning at 7. It's a live call-in show to give Coloradans like you free legal advice on any topic you'd like to discuss with them.
Do you get personal attention for your business credit card processing or POS system? Dealing with out-of-state companies is frustrating. Michael Brown here, and I want you to get in touch with Rocky Mountain Credit Card. They've been providing local business owners with custom credit card processing and POS solutions for nearly 2 decades. Visit RockyMountainCreditCard.com and click the Michael Brown special link to check out a great offer that includes free lifetime equipment, no gateway fees, and a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Rocky Mountain Credit Card, your local merchant services company.
When he's not talking about it, he's tweeting about it.
Twitter.
Follow the Troubleshooter at RealTomMartino. And stay connected with all of Denver's talk station on Twitter.
Just give me your Twitter and I'll follow you.
Find us right now at 630 KHOW. Afternoons 2 to 4. It's Leland Conway.
Monday, when will gas prices go down? Will food prices keep going up? What's the
stake look huge? So Fox News has it as Will Smith attacks Chris Rock.
What a who has it?
Fox? But it's one of the top stories.
Yeah, but as long as they don't get racist about it, because that's what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, I think.
No, it was wrong. No,
it was
Twitter scarred.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Don't forget RealCBDThatWorks.com. RealCBDThatWorks.com. 40% off for the next few days. It goes away on April 1st, 40% off. Put Tom in the promo code, get 40% off. I just got my new shipment. You can get gel caps and chewables and cosmetic lines with anti-inflammatory properties, all of it. RealCBDThatWorks.com. And that's Panacea Life Sciences for those who want to know, in Golden, but they ship out all over the country. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe, where we solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. And from now on, Mark's not going to disagree with me on the air. He's agreed to agree with me on everything. If he doesn't, I'm going to slap him in the face. All right, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
That's the only thing anybody took from the award show.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad? Some groundbreaking stuff happened. First of all, the movie that he won for, Will Smith won for, was a great movie. What a great movie that was. And And he did a great job, but it kind of was overshadowed. And also, the best picture, Coda, what a wonderful story that was about a girl who wants to become a singer from a family who has a deaf mom and dad. And it was just, all that was kind of overshadowed, wasn't it? Anyway, 303-713-TALK is our number.
But most of you can only slap you if you make fun of Suzanne.
Yeah, right. So here's the deal. If you have a problem, a question or complaint, give us a call. Our guest today, we have Water Pros, the Waterman, Paul, the Waterman with waterpros.net. I love talking to Paul because of, I can very seldom say this about anything. Not that it really matters. I mean, I have great sponsors, but it's so difficult to measure up to this claim. The best products at the lowest prices. I have never seen anyone match his prices ever. Every time I get a drink of water from that beautiful fountain on my sink, I have 2 of those systems, under $1,000 fully installed. The water is delicious, triple filter, reverse osmosis, no electrical wiring, nothing. It all runs off the water, and it's just beautiful, wonderful. And so no one can touch it, not even close. And then softening, whole house systems around $2,000. And Paul, how is it? Now, I'm not going to slam anybody, but how is it that some plumbing contractors charge $10,000 to $12,000?
You know, I don't have words for it. I think about that a lot because I want to protect the integrity of the industry because I think it's a legitimate thing to do. I think water conservation starts with soft water because you eliminate all the chemicals that you use to clean up after hard water. So the only thing I can think of is that it's an illusion out there, and I want people to realize that there's no such thing as salt-free water softeners.
No, but we got to make something clear. Salt is not in the water.
Correct. It's a detergent. It's converted to a saline.
And it cleans the filters.
That's right. It cleans the filter.
And then the filters are flushed. It's really important to know that. I don't know why people think salt softens the water. It doesn't.
Not one bit. No. And so the resin, the filter media, removes the hardness as a liquid. That ion exchange has been around since the late 1890s. That's the only way to soften the water.
Right.
They improve the quality of the resin. Resin lasts longer. Resin's durable now to the total chlorine content.
Right. So water goes through this filter, basically, and it's softened. Is that right?
Correct. That's it.
Yeah. And so what's in that filter?
So the filter media is called resin, ion exchange resin.
Why does it soften water?
Because it removes the hardness as a liquid. So hardness is calcium carbonate, and it grabs the calcium. Right? The carbonate is passed on through. The sodium chloride is the detergent. The ion exchange process.
Well, what I mean is the water passes through the filter.
And it grabs it
and it grabs the minerals.
Right. So look at
So what comes out the other end is soft water.
Right, which is sodium bicarbonate.
Well, yeah. And
that's soft water. But people need to understand that you know what the byproduct is, because a lot of folks try to mislead that as well.
Saying they're salt, right.
Right.
The salt at night, or whenever the cycle happens to clean the filter, is flushed through the filter, the salt water.
Correct.
And then that cleans it all out, all the minerals.
Right.
But that water goes down the drain.
Correct. Goes right down the drain.
Right. And it doesn't stay in the filter.
Correct.
So there's no salt added to your water.
No.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We solve problems, answer questions, say complaints. Jimmy, I know you called before. I'm going to talk to you about that. So, Jimmy, explain to me, sir, what is going on with your car.
You gave me Morris's number.
Yeah, but first, explain the original problem you had there, bro.
Well, I was under the impression that I was buying a good car from, the dealer tried to convince, or he convinced me that it was a very good vehicle.
Was this a 2006 Yukon?
Yes, sir.
So it was. You bought it in March, and you said it had. I felt kind of bad for you. It had 195,000 miles on it from Ethio Motors. Now,
exactly.
You didn't overpay for it, I don't think. you took it back for problems, and they were kind of weren't they fixing the problems for you or not?
Yes, they fixed a few of the problems, which I was...
and you bought it as is, though, right?
Yes.
Our main question with your deal was this. Did they lie to you, cheat you, defraud you, hide something, or was it unsafe when sold? You were trying to make the argument it was unsafe when sold, but safety features are not what people think they are. If they have a bad transmission, they say, oh, that's unsafe, it shouldn't have been sold even as is, because the as is clause does not protect dealers from everything. But you were also trying to make the argument that they lied to you?
Yes.
In what way, sir?
Well, they convinced me that this was the perfect car for me, that it had a new motor, and then after we got...
Was it put down, what was put in the contract? Did they put down new engine?
They put down a rebuilt engine.
In the contract?
Yes.
Okay. And we want to figure out if that's true. So, let's get on. Go ahead.
The other thing, Tom, was that they never disclosed any of the accident that the vehicle was in.
Now, we're going to find out from Norris what they have to disclose, okay, on accidents. Hold on, all right? I got to take this. I want to give Norris time. SOS Inspections.
What's Your Problem dives deep into new technology and the challenges facing people at the top of their field. On each episode, Jacob...
Now, when you say there's no such thing as salt-free,
speaks with the entrepreneurs and
engineers
on innovations in medicine, artificial intelligence, and more.
We didn't have a particular technology. We didn't have a business model.
I got to do spots as always, Paul, here, so hold on one sec. Did you get the note on...
What's Your Problem on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts?
You know what I recommend when you have an insurance claim of any kind? Call a public adjuster to be on your side, one that we endorse. Not even all public adjusters are great, but they represent you, not the insurance company, when they do their job right. Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado. Give them a call if you have any kind of an insurance claim. They will give you a free analysis of that claim and let you know what they can do for you as far as savings, meaning how much more money they can get you. They'll be honest about it. If they can't help you, they'll let you know. Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado for the fire claims, the fringe claims of ash, soot, and all of that, or broken pipes, small fires, wind, hail, whatever the insurance claim. Your insurance company is not going to be fair to you. 720-715-0000. Get someone on your side that will recover a lot of money for you, more than you can do on your own. 720-715-0000. And it's CO Claims for Colorado, coclaims.com. Now, speaking of damages, let's say you have a bunch of varying damage, inside and out.
Even some outbuildings. Did you know Genesis Total Exteriors can do all of that for you? On one invoice, you deal with one person. Mark Szymanski and his crew will do kitchens, baths, and basements or attic damage, drywall repairs. They can also help you outside with roofing and gutters and siding and windows and fencing and decks and more. Genesis Total Exteriors, 303-679-8509.
If you're looking to pay for a home improvement, mortgage rates are still very competitive, and home values, they're on the rise, making this a great time for a cash-out refinance. Just call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans. It's Michael Brown here, and I like American Financing because their custom loans can achieve your goals faster. After all, there's more to a refinance.
I thought we had Jimmy's follow-up on already.
For the things that you need, like improving your home, paying for college, or even getting rid of debt faster. All are possibilities when you choose American Financing. So why not get a free mortgage review to learn more? If you start soon, you could close in as few as 10 days, and you could skip 2 payments. So call 303-695-7000.
There's the inspection report.
303-695-7000.
I don't know why I'm having deja vu. I thought we did all this stuff.
NMLS 182-334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
Do you think that Smith will be Canceled because of this?
We all know.
You don't think he'll be canceled?
If they don't take the award back, if they don't, that would
take the award back.
Yeah, yeah, it's hypocrisy. He went up there and smacked the man. That's assault. If they don't take the award back.
Pardon me, Mark, Tom, I sent you guys that inspection report from Norris if you want to look at it. He's on
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
HOAs are the worst. They're the worst.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a property manager that gets in there and he gets a couple board members on his side. It's like ticking a dog. It's hard to get them out. Did you guys see where all that one HOA is causing homes? What, Moultrie? Go foreclosure?
No, it wasn't Moultrie. It was up north.
It's Green Valley Ranch.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
There's been like 115, 120 in the state, and 50 of them out of Green Valley.
You get the guy complex on the HOA board and think that they're...
Oh, they're a mess. Why is the HOA foreclosing on that?
Oh, anything. Thieves. They find people for...
If you owe HOA $175 and you're not paying it because you disputed, they can foreclose on your house for that $175.
Yeah.
And your first seat. Make you lose your shit, they get paid pennies, and they don't care about you losing.
Tom Martino. Okay, so Jimmy says he bought a vehicle.
He thought he was buying a good vehicle. By the way, don't ever think you're buying a good vehicle. That's number one. I'm serious. And again, this is for people listening, not for Jimmy. And if they make a claim, make him put it down on the contract. For example, if it has a new rebuilt or a rebuilt engine, it should be on the contract. But what do they have to disclose? What are you automatically protected from when you buy a car as is? You're protected from unsafe cars, but what does that mean? And what damage do they have to disclose? I'm not talking about damage that would be a good idea to disclose. But Norris, do you know of any laws of disclosure when it comes to accidents or damage? And I was kind of looking at this list you gave me, but go ahead, Norris.
Yes, there's a thing called a material particulars disclosure form that is supposed to be filled out.
It can't be salvage, right?
It can be salvaged, but they have to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And what about it says if the motor vehicle sustained damage, whether repaired or not repaired, like to the frame or unibody, right?
Or to the exterior, any part of the exterior.
And flood, and fire, hail. Accident. So they have to tell you about accidents and collisions. That's part, even if it's as is.
Even if it's as is, and even if it has a clean Carfax, or even if it has a dirty Carfax, as they say, they still have to, they can't just use a Carfax report as a disclosure form. They still have to fill out that separate sheet of paper called a material particulars disclosure form. It's not the same as a regular disclosure form when you're filling out the paperwork, because there's not one but two forms called the disclosure form, and most dealers don't fill out.
Now, if they don't do it, do you think you have any ammunition if they don't do that?
Oh yeah.
People don't know about that. So there have to be literally two forms filled out with a car sale, even if it's as is.
That's right.
Norris, you see, Mark, no one knows about this. How many times we have people buy cars as is? Now, I'm betting you went out and inspected his car. We'll get to that in a minute. But Jimmy, you didn't get those two disclosure forms, did you?
No, I only got the one.
Which one?
And actually, that's the Carfax. The Carfax I didn't receive until like 2 to 3 weeks after the fact. I asked them for it. And they knew I had a brain surgery, and
okay, that's all right, Jimmy. That's fine. So, Norris, what did you find when you examined his car?
It's got 2 different brake problems, so that's a safety issue. The parking brake doesn't work very well, and the rear backing plates are rusted away, which is not uncommon for a car in that vintage, especially a Chevy or a GMC. But you still have to deal with it. You have to do something about it. So cars are required to have a functional parking brake.
Now, can they make the argument that he bought this in March? And, it is March. I'm sorry. I was going to say too much. So they can't very well make the argument he wore all that out in a few weeks.
No. Besides, he's driven it very little.
Jimmy, you may have some ammunition here, bro, to get this thing.
So let's get real, though. What do you do? Let's say everything is what it is. So now what? Does he go hire an attorney? Does he take him to small claims court? Does he show up to the dealer and expect the dealer to give him a refund with this information? I mean, what's the reality of this?
The reality is he can use my report to talk to the dealer and ask them to buy the car back. And if they don't want to buy it back, he can take them to small claims court, or he can hire an attorney.
Right,
and there are
and I agree.
Car fraud.
I agree. So there is a procedure, Jimmy, but you're going to have to do it. You have the report now, and it's from a qualified person who does forensics, and you say, look, according to, and I would even quote, we're not going to give you the legal advice, but we're going to give you the law that you can research yourself. And it's an actual law that says they have to disclose certain things, okay? And that law is pretty powerful. It is, I think it isn't under, let's see, Certificate of Title Act is that's only for the salvage part. But there's one that, the particulars, which law is that, the particulars law? Norris, do you have the number of that?
Yeah, that's CCR 205-1.
205-1. CRS, right?
Yep. No, CCR.
Oh, what does that stand for?
I don't know what that stands for.
Oh, okay.
But there's two CCR violations here. The material particulars, which is part of CC 205, CCR 205, and the selling and providing him a temporary tag on a car that they know is not roadworthy. That's in CCR 204.
Yeah, CCR 205-1. You're absolutely right. I see it right here. And it talks about, but you have to go deeper into it. But that's what the law is that says it has to have certain disclosures.
Yeah. On every car sold at a dealership, they have to fill out that form. And frankly, 90% of them don't.
Okay.
One other thing I didn't mention was we didn't know about it, but was that the ABS light that was turning on, and they turned it back off, and then it turned back on, and now it doesn't turn off at all.
Listen, bro, you just look. You didn't buy a new car, okay? This is where you and I are going to part some ways. You didn't buy a new car, so what we're talking about now is we're talking about a real deal. Don't go talking like you got all this power and that you're going to all of a sudden be able to get them to fix everything, because you're not. Norris, explain that, please.
Well, they don't have to fix anything unless it's a safety issue.
Right.
That there are words in the law to that effect that a dealer does not after an as-is sale unless it's a safety issue. But there's enough safety issues on this car that I don't think they're going to go for it anyway.
Right. So you do have some stuff you can do, okay? Just don't get crazy with them expecting a perfect car. You didn't buy it. You got 195,000 miles on it, okay? You got to keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
Just wants them to buy it back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. You get them to buy it back. So here's what we can do, though, if you want. First you go, Jimmy, okay? First you go, and you confront him with this and say, there's a CCR 205-1, there's a law that you violated, the material particulars law that says you have to make certain disclosures you didn't make. This car was unsafe, and I want out. Buy it back. Give it. I want out of the deal.
What happens if they didn't know it was unsafe?
They're supposed to. They're a licensed dealer. That's part of their license. So
does it talk about the punishment in there that they have to undo the deal?
I don't see that part here. What does it say in the law? I didn't read that part. Like, what do you do?
Well, it just gives you rights to go after them. It doesn't say they have to buy it back, but you can, especially if you get an attorney involved and write a letter or file a motion to take them to court, and they're going to perk up and listen pretty quick.
I hope they will, and if not, we will call them. But first, you try, okay, Jimmy? You try it first, and then get back to us on it.
Can they charge him for the miles he put on the car?
You know,
is there a limit of how much they can charge?
You know what? No, that's called bailment. Bailment is when he's waiting for financing. I think in this case, you know, he didn't put that many miles on it. And if they want to split hairs like that, I think it's a negotiating thing. Mike's got a comment on Jimmy. Go ahead, Mike. What's your comment?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. Not so much on Jimmy, but on the vehicle and other GM vehicles. To save your listeners some grief, this era of 5.3 liter and 6.0 GM engines had problems with their lifters. They didn't have large enough oil holes. And so at about 150, 175,000 miles, you get a lifter noise and you have to have the engine replaced or rebuilt. There is a current class action lawsuit on the 2014 to 2021 Silverado pickup trucks for the very same issue. So GM has not learned their lesson.
Well, thanks on that. And I think that that's just more ammunition for him. But thank you. 303-713-8255. All right, so I think he has his marching orders, and he'll know what to do. George is next with an HOA issue. Whatever you have, give us a call at 303-713-TALK. By the way, Norris can be found at usedcarcheckout.com.
Well, what I meant to say is there a limit to what they can charge per mile? Is it totally, in other words,
Yes.
You know, when you rent the car.
Yes. There's a bailment agreement that you have to put, is required at the sale of a vehicle for when there is financing being arranged. And it's all got to be disclosed up front. However, in this case where nothing's disclosed and they say, okay, we're going to undo the deal, but we're going to charge you mileage. Well, I think that's not right because it was never a valid deal to begin with. So I don't see how, and there was no bailment required because he didn't finance it. So I don't see how they can charge him anything.
Well, that was my question. Make sure he knows that.
Currently, it's 61. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
As Premier members, we personally handcraft every detail of every mortgage to perfection. It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at becomepremier.com. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 4167.
Why isn't anyone...
Let's talk about RockyMountainIVMedics.com. Those are the people that come to you when you are feeling down, sick, dehydrated, whatever it is. You can have the comfort of hydration therapy in your home, IV therapy, or your office, and not pay any more for it than you would if you were going to a hydration bar, and way less than urgent care and emergency rooms. This is doctor supervised. They send a medical professional to your home, and you can get it for dehydration, vitamin deficiencies, if you have the flu, if you're not feeling good, altitude sickness, whatever it is, if you have someone visiting, RockyMountainIVMedics.com. Now, here's the great part. You can text or call for same-hour appointments, 720-987-2155, 720-987-2155. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan, where first they listen, then they lend. You may think, well, what are they listening for? To make sure they can meet your needs. Meaning, there's way more than just interest rate. Of course, you got to be able to drop that interest rate. But with Ideal, they have the interest rate guarantee. So get the savings you can, any savings you can now. And then if rates drop more, you get refinanced free of charge. But you're insulated against them going up, which we think that will happen. So in addition to that, you don't have to go back to 15 or 30 years. You can pick whatever term you want. They also have a pre-approval, which is like a cash deal. Think about that. You're approved, the money set aside. When you find a house, you can close within days. It gives your offer the power of a cash buyer. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000.
You ever feel like when you're at work, everything you say sounds... You're completely unstimulated and you don't care.
But then, when you're talking to your friends about things you're truly interested in
God
and
and
passionate about,
touch
you sound like you're alive.
somebody's face.
Maybe you should try
Put your
podcast.
hand
With
all
Spreaker Pod,
over.
it's the easiest way to podcast. Just head over to Spreaker.com, Spreaker, and start your voyage from the...
It's not too late. I'm Wesley Ogle with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right. Whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669. NMLS number 2304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
The art of granite, and more. Right now, Quartz is modern. He has all of the latest colors. He is fabricating quartz daily. The material is wholesale to you. Even the tear out and fall away is free. And the bathroom is free when you have the kitchen done. You can get prices on the phone. Just give him a call. Give him some measurements.
What, Bob? What are you thinking? I see that thought. A big old bubble. I just can't read the words.
You remember the cats from our game?
Uh-huh.
I was wondering what you guys remind me of. I mean, it's like, what do you guys remind me? What's the third spiritual?
That's pretty good.
What cat? What show?
Okay.
You know, it's like you're giving the Three Stooges for their sport, right? So I'm like, what is
You know, in the remake of our game that they did a remake.
Yeah.
Viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose with
It's my great nephew.
Navage medicine. It's more like
I love.
Navage.
That's my great nephew.
That's totally awesome. Where germs can get trapped.
Those were the days better.
And
I look at those kids
flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Dealers calling
Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Trade in, trade out, trade down. Whatever your needs are, the Sharpest Ride will get you the best offer, hands down. Your car is worth more now than any time in the past. They're located just minutes from
Well, I put it for $76.5.
Yeah. In town. Get more info today
Absolutely worth it. The retail goes from 70 something to 88. I'm just evaluating whether I want to trade it or not.
I got a really good water treatment system for 76.5, which is
Do you really? No, do you have one that that expensive?
No, but I got new technology. Yeah,
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Renew Home Innovations has beautiful bathrooms, and you owe it to yourself to talk to them. They concentrate on the shower and tub. You can do a new tub or a new shower, or separate, of course, or a combined, or just take out that tub and make this big, beautiful rectangular shower that they have. This shower is American standard fixtures, and they have wall systems that look like stone with no maintenance. And they can get started that week, and they can get it done quickly. And what's great about it is they don't have supply chain issues. Renew Home Innovations. Now, those showers, way better than walk-in tubs, in my opinion. They can do where one with no threshold. You walk in, you can wheel in, you can go with a walker, no obstacles. RenewHomeInnovations.com, special pricing for seniors and also for veterans. 303-904-2000. 303-904-2000. George has an HOA issue, and let's talk about that. George, I'm trying to find your call from last week, sir. What was it about?
Hi, Tom. Thank you very much for taking my call
Yes,
again.
sir.
I apologize.
No, don't worry about it, man. What's going on? I want to help.
Okay, my property management company, I have a condo that's in an HOA. The property management company sent a plumber to check the down below, the crawl space. Okay, I let him look into our bathroom.
Why were they checking the crawl space?
Well, there's a puddle down there. There's a main tube that comes down from the third floor to mine, or to the crawl space, that handles 6 units here. And there's some kind of puddle. I don't know what it comes from. I really don't like it, but it's not coming from my place. So I got charged $657 for him fixing my toilet.
I remember this. I remember this. So you were charged for a toilet refund you never got, and when you started making your payments for your regular HOA, because you had this balance due, they applied it to that first. So now they're calling you late on HOA. Weren't you calling on this? I thought Deputy Doc was calling on this.
I was going to wait till today because it was the weekend.
Okay.
And I figured the HOA wouldn't be there.
All right.
So I'm going to take care of it.
Now, George, somebody called me back, but I missed it.
Yeah, that's what that Deputy Doc. So we're going to call you right now. Here's what we're doing, George. We're simply going to find out why you were billed for a repair you never got. I mean, that's the bottom line, bro. I mean, why were you? You should not have been. You should not have been. I mean, I don't see, where do they get off doing it?
Well, they bully people. The management company here, they bully people. They feel like, they feel like the HOA works for them. My wife has been on the HOA board twice,
right?
And she was mistreated.
The guy that came, was he a handy? Was the guy that came a plumber?
They claim he is.
Okay,
I don't know.
Now, why did he
I
even?
had a journeyman plumber come out, and they just ignored what he said.
George, why?
Yes, sir.
Did you have the plumber look at your toilet to begin with?
I did not have him look at the toilet. I was being instructed by a friend on how to redo the flapper valve and all that stuff. It's not my thing. Okay, so I was learning how to do that. When the plumber came in, he glanced at it. It's no big deal.
No, but here's what I'm getting at.
I get a bill.
Okay, hold on, George. See, you're just hopping. You just follow my logical progression. He knocks on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, George. I'm from the HOA. I have to check the crawl space for some standing water. Okay. By the way, plumber, can you look at my toilet? Is that how it went?
No, no.
Well, normally,
if he knocks on... I did not ask him to look at the toilet.
Okay. Then here's how it went. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, George. I'm here to inspect some standing water in the crawl space. By the way, magically, I want to look at your toilet because I know psychically that you're having a problem with it. Now, how does he get from inspecting the crawl space to looking at your toilet without you saying a word?
He wanted to make sure my tub was not leaking. Somehow he glanced at, I let him in. I let him look at my tub. The toilet was being worked on. Okay.
I get it. So you had it. I get it.
Allow him to do anything.
I get it, George. You had the toilet already apart.
Yes.
And how was it apart? The lid was off the tank?
Oh, yeah, that's all. The lid was off the tank. The toilet was not off its base.
Okay.
Or anything
the
like
lid
that.
was off the tank, and you were changing the flapper valve.
That's correct.
Okay. And he saw that. But did he say to you, here, let me help, or did he just see it?
No, I would not have allowed that.
All right, George.
No, he did not offer.
So he simply looked to see if anything was leaking, and then what? And then left the bathroom, right?
Yes, he left and he went down to the crawl space.
Okay. And why did he say he repaired your toilet? That's what Deputy Doc has to find out. I am mystified. So, Doc, he knocks on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, George. I'm here to inspect the crawl space. And then he goes in to check the tub and the toilet to make sure water isn't dripping into the crawl space. While he's in the bathroom, he sees the toilets being repaired, and he charges for that repair just because he saw it.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
I'm going to call them right now.
It makes no sense. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I have an email for Paul the Waterman at waterpros.net. The lowest price systems at the best at the lowest. I really mean that, by the way. So, Paul, they said, why do they advertise salt-free if you say there's no such thing as salt-free? Now, I want to first, before we even get into it, for those who are just tuning in, because people don't always tune in right at the beginning all the time, we're talking about softeners. With a softener, it's a filter media with a special interaction that softens the water. It takes out the minerals. The salt in a softener is made to clean that filter. It does not mix with the water. At night or sometime when you're not using it, there's a cycle of cleaning the filter with salted water. Then the filter's completely rinsed. So people think salt is being put into their system, and it's not. Let's just get that clear. Now, then, there are some that advertise salt-free. So I'm asking, are there any salt-free?
No, there's no.
Then how do they advertise it?
Well, it's false advertising. They're getting away with it.
What do they mean? So, do you even know what they mean? Have you ever called them?
No, I don't know what they mean. There's a filter media they claim, right, that will reduce scaling. But people have to understand, and here's the logic. Hardness is a liquid scale, so you're not going to repolarize or cause a scale not to stick. Right? The theory is it's going to run through this media. It changes the molecular structure. Other companies use...
If you measure the softness of water before or after one of these so-called salt-free softeners, will the softness have changed?
No. And we get a lot of phone calls from people that buy those online systems and that don't work. And we have to go out there and offer the right solution. There's 3 companies out there that sell them online, and there's just no way you're going to take a magnetic filter and, repolarize a liquid scale, a rock. It's not going to happen. And look at, there's Adams County. They went and spent millions of dollars on what they said is a water softener for the community, right? They're supposed to soften the water, and that hasn't worked. No.
What did they spend it on?
On a water softening media they claimed was salt free. I believe they got it from Germany, if I remember correctly. And that's the whole. And they sent out everybody letters saying, "Hey, adjust your softeners. The water hardness is going to change."
There used to be magnets that were sold that you would strap on your pipes that supposedly descaled your water.
No, that doesn't work. And what about
They say they changed the polarity or something.
And that's what I'm trying to say. How can you change the polarity of a liquid? Right, that when air comes...
Well, they say the molecules within the liquid.
No, it doesn't work that way. Because when air comes in contact, it's still going to oxidize the hardness out of the water.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.
A trash truck is tipped over on the ramp from northbound and southbound I-25 onto I-70 eastbound. Traffic is actually being diverted west onto I-70 where they can get back onto I-70 eastbound. On that flyover through the Mousetrap, eastbound I-70 flyover I-25 is not affected. Is the work...
What's going on? Yeah, somebody's complaining. Radio over 6:30 a.m. isn't going
out. 80 today, tonight's low 44, and for tomorrow, a 30% chance of rain, a high of 59. Currently, it's...
Well, why don't you hit the button and fix it?
I'm Chris McLaughlin, 6:30.
New blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made that are shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
I am a believer in reverse loans if you find a reputable
company to do them. And, of course, we love recommending reputable companies. Now, you can get a lump sum, a line of credit, or monthly payments you never have to pay back. You just keep up your insurance on your house, and that's it. And here, on taxes, of course. And I want you to find someone, though, who you can trust to get this done quickly and efficiently for you and will counsel you into the best kind of loan. Because now you can go down to 55 with some reverse loans. Did you know that? EmpowerReverse.com. Empower. EMPOWER. EmpowerReverse.com. 833-502-3100. 833-502-3100.
For over 150 years, CIBC has helped people go from where they are to where they want to be. From leading a few employees to managing an entire workforce. From starting local to going national. From generating wealth to generations of wealth. At CIBC, we believe a bank should take
from where you are to wherever you want to be. CIBC. Ambition.
They know there is an issue because the power is being painted.
Person that says this is
So the radio signals are getting paint drops on it and falling to the ground. Falling to the ground, exactly.
Simply put, we make people happy.
You know what was funny the other day? During
one way will resurface cabinets.
Was it Brown show
replacement kitchens
or Cat?
Custom built cabinets.
During Dan's show,
bathrooms, you can
there was an advertisement. You ready for this? To switch over to KOA.
Well, it starts with a
during his show, there was an advertisement at 4 o'clock to switch over to KOA to listen to the Russell Wilson interview with the Broncos. So during his show, an advertisement to switch over to the other station right then and there. Not later, then and there.
I've got some big news from
my
friend Gay Ribble with the Ribble Group, Keller Williams Realty DTC. Last year, Gay introduced what she called the COVID Seller Protection Program. That's where the buyer pays all of the commission, saving you as the seller thousands of dollars. That seller relief program was such a huge success, it changed the game for Denver home sellers and buyers. Well, Gay has just announced that the Ribble Group is bringing back the zero commission COVID Seller Protection Program, but for a limited time. That's where the buyer pays all of the commission. So to be clear, as a seller, you pay zero in commission. That's because Gay has thousands of buyers in the buyers and waiting program that will gladly pay the commission so you can sell your home receiving the best class service while make the most money possible. Call my friend today. 453-453-SOED. Gay, spelled G-A-Y-E. GayHasTheBuyers.com. Gay has the buyers.
What's happening with the zero wallets?
I get it, but see, you said zero is kind of exchange properties of the car. Is that a factual statement? Or is that just play on words? That's what I'm looking for.
Maybe that's good to talk about. What is that?
Zero. The zero water filter.
What does it mean, zero?
Well, what they do is they take, they use ion exchange resin that's been acid washed, and the references that you're testing to exchange. When you pull the hardness out, it reduces the TDS.
Totally
solid, right?
So it helps it become better drinking water.
Well, it just takes the hardness out.
Yeah, that filter gets heavy as shit. Okay, when you throw it away because it's full of solid.
And what is that that's doing that? What kind of
It's the resin. It's the acid. It's water softening resin. That's what's in that filter. It's right in the carpet.
Well, then,
I didn't take any of that crap.
okay.
Because I could tell.
So then they throw it out. So instead of, it's the same kind of.
Instead of rinsing it. So then it's all free.
Right. I mean, well,
how long does it take for it to clog up?
Depends on how hard your water is and how much that. Depends on how hard your water is and how much you run through it.
That's it.
Hi, Tom Martino.
But you know your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Get your calls in and figure out what we can do for you. If you have a problem, question, complaint, someone's lying to you, cheating you, ripping you off. I had one problem I responded to on Nextdoor having to do with a fence. Somebody moved into a neighborhood and they put up a fence. And the fence has been there for a few years. The neighbor on the other side of that fence refused to chip in for it. Well, that's, and they don't have to really. So here was the question. If I have a fence, now it's rotting because my neighbor did not maintain his side. In other words, he put leaves up against it, etc., caused it to rot. Now I have to replace a section of that fence. Can I ask him to chip in? Well, you can ask anything. But here's what I want to say about fences. Listen carefully. Don't put up a fence without a clear-cut agreement. Many HOAs have what's called a joint fence covenant or agreement that you agree to when you buy the property. Other municipalities say you have to have a setback. So you're never going to have a joint fence. You have to set it back 3, 4, 5 feet. So your neighbor would presumably have to set it back 3, 4, 5 feet. But here's what some neighbors do. They end up with 3, 4, or 5 feet more property because you're setting your fence back where you're supposed to. So now instead of having no man's land in between two fences, you're the only one with the fence. I know it seems unfair. You're putting up a fence, they're getting the benefit. But without a subdivision or covenants with a joint fence agreement, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't force someone to chip in for it. So what's best is to try to have some kind of an agreement in place before you do it. Now, you could always say, forget it, I'm taking it down, I'm not doing it, and you'll find out how much the neighbor wants it or not. I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't put up a fence if somebody didn't agree to chip in for me if I knew they were benefiting from it too. Like if they had a dog or something. The hell with that. But it happens all the time. And this is one of the most common problems neighbors have. Who's going to pay for the fence? Then there's another problem. If we put up a fence, which side do you get? And which side do I get? Obviously, the person with the trim side, the good side, should pay more than the person with the back side. Or you put up the fence with two sides. You put up so two good sides all the way. In other words, by doing that, you put up one fence one way and then take the pickets, if there are pickets, and you put them on the other side so they both have trim sides. Or you do every other panel, which is stupid looking. I mean, that's like, well, we couldn't make up our minds. So you do every other panel. How have you done fences? That's what I want to know. What have you done in your neighborhood for fences? 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And I'd also like to know if you have experience with water filters or water softeners. We have one thing I want to explore. Somebody asked, what about the filters I have on my refrigerator? Doesn't that give me good drinking water? And, you know, I know that a lot of refrigerators come with this inline filter. Tell me, have you ever looked at those, Paul? Paul the Waterman, waterpros.net. Have you looked at inline filters?
Yeah, I think today's inline filters are a lot better. Majority of them are submicron or nanofiltration, so I think they're absolutely a benefit.
Okay, they're a benefit for ice and all that. But let me ask you something. Is it as good as the triple filter one you do under the sink for under $1,000?
Absolutely not. It's
not even close?
No. Carbon is a taste and odor only. And with the flow rate on the refrigerator, it's a 1/4-inch line. So you get really good contact time, so it can help with the total chlorine content. But, you know, hard water will affect that filter. And that's where, if you ever go into somebody's house and you see the water spigot on the fridge, you know, full of calcium stains, that's what happens, is that the hardness overtakes it.
Okay, so there is a benefit, no doubt, but it's not as good as having a dedicated filter for drinking water, but it is something. Now, So you should keep those filters changed. How often?
Probably every 6 months.
That often?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, refrigerator filters, look how often are they used? But again, water filter isn't plug and play. The quality of your water that's feeding it's going to affect the performance of it.
Okay, so the worse the water, the more you have to do it.
Yep.
But there's no way of knowing that without a water test. Now, you do free water tests. Is it really free?
Absolutely correct.
No pressure to buy anything?
Nope.
How long does a water test take?
Oh, the test itself takes 5 minutes.
What? Oh, that's for hardness, right? What about for total dissolved solids?
No, that's instant. We have a meter for that, and then we have the total chlorine test kit. So we can do a full test in your house in about 5 minutes.
For both?
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, I'm Tom Martino. Our number, 303-713-TALK, where we're solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, talking about everyday life. Let us know what's on your mind. It's either 303-713-TALK or 303-MARTINO. Ideal home.
Hey, Tom. My son was thinking about getting some landscaping done. And it's such a rip-off. What are the 2 best companies that you recommend?
Well, we got a lot of good ones, man. Sherrick is unbelievable.
What was that?
Sherrick is really
Sherrick?
good, but
Are they on our referral list?
yeah, but so is Mr. Green Jeans.
Okay, those
is
two.
another good one.
Okay.
Well, and then but
It's the Cherokee Green Jeans. I'll just have them go to the referral list, right?
yeah, for sure. But I like those guys for sure.
Okay.
Oh, the tower painting.
Refinance or you purchase and rates go down, guess what?
Hey, Paul, I'm having my townhouse is being built.
Yeah.
What's the best time to put in a water filter? I found the kitchen sink so that, for coffee and drinking water.
I've done pre-drill that, and then when it's all done.
What do you mean
Pre-drill for the faucet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want that after the CO because builders don't like anybody in there touching anything until after they're done with it.
Right. Okay.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
I definitely want to get one for the drinking water and for coffee.
Yeah, well, absolutely. See, Tom, your RO system takes out all the hardness.
What's that?
Your RO system takes out the hardness. You're drinking mineral-free water.
News. I'm Elwyn Lopez. In-person peace talks between the
That's
Russians
something
and
I did the
Ukrainians
water. You could do the water
tomorrow
test with
in
your
Turkey.
RO.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says
So you
he's
have
open
you
to a
have
compromise
basically
if Russia
88%
withdraws its
reduction
troops
of everything that's
territories
coming
it's
through.
occupied before
Yeah, I want
the
to ask you
war.
something.
In exchange, he says Ukraine
That's
would
salt-free.
establish
Yeah. It's salt in my
neutrality
water.
and not
Okay,
join
now the
NATO.
whole house water
Meanwhile,
salt.
the fighting has reached a stalemate.
Salt-free
Russian forces
filter.
stalled, but
RO
the
Let me show you exactly what I did so you
How much would that system I have under the sink? How much would that be?
What's that, baby?
I just want to show you exactly what I did so you know. So I was here, and before here, there was a thing that said in subscription, and that's what I did. Now it says re-review. So I assume I fixed it.
So if I wanted one of those, I would have the best water.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that was the deal, okay?
Yeah, that's what it said to do.
I mean, on a big house that's beautiful,
So,
26 grand is not all that crazy. How long does it last?
Okay, but you can rerun it some other
About 10
time.
years, 10 to 15 years.
Before what?
Well, then you got to, probably, rebuild the solenoids and things like that.
But
it
not
could last
spend
more.
another 26.
No.
In a system like that, Paul, would you separate out your outside waters?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have
But
to
you have
test
to
it
have
because you kill yourself doing that.
Right. Think of your RO system or the sink. Then you magnify it times 100. So you got to have a holding tank, and then you got to have a separate.
No, I know.
pump. Yeah.
Possibility of nuclear weapons being used anywhere in the world.
What did Biden make a gap when he said regime change?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
The guy is a doddering old man.
It's crazy that he's our president, man. It's just crazy.
It's not.
And then Kamala or whatever, man, she fucks shit up left and right, too.
They're all idiots. There's somebody else behind the screen.
Yeah, who the fuck's pulling the puppet
This
strings?
is the Milli Vanilli of our time. This is the Milli Vanilli of our time. Blame it on the rain.
He could dance. He could dance, though.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
The only thing that Kamala Harris has ever said that I agree with was you get what you voted for.
Well, listen, she slept, not to be disrespectful to her, but she slept her way all over San Francisco.
She's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Wasn't she screwing the mayor?
Yeah, the mayor and somebody else, yeah, and he even came out and said it.
Sanjay's tables jam-packed.
He needs more servers to keep these new customers coming back.
Let's keep these tables turning.
That's her husband's problem. He should have walked up and slapped him in.
Indeed can help him hire.
Yeah.
Indeed, you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes
Oh my goodness.
match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Watch his wife. Jada started it.
Yeah,
I know.
But
I thought it was a funny joke. It wasn't bad.
it was a funny joke until you realized that he was cracking on a condition that she had, her alopecia. I mean,
But I didn't know that.
See, that's when it wasn't funny, and that's what made her face it. Like that. I mean, I'm sick.
What's alopecia?
Your hair falls out.
Oh.
See, I told him,
See, he's laughing there.
I'm teaching him medicine as we go along.
While within that
Look at her. She's not happy about that.
And he was laughing.
They hope to rapidly increase containment of the fire today. A southern Colorado school district canceled classes after a social media threat in a
Well, at
Facebook
least he
post
slapped
yesterday.
Dude, that's some hard ass shit.
Yeah.
That ain't no tap.
No, I
He
know.
fucking hit the motherfucker.
And if he'd have balled his fist up, we would have had to pick Chris up.
While that threat is investigated.
Oh man.
They don't take away that reward. If they don't say what you did, I mean, they can't condone that. Who's gonna, if they don't, then they're gonna...
Man, if I hit you that hard, you fucking fall down.
That's what I said.
Well, let me ask you a question, Paul. 5280 magazine gives you an award for being the best businessman in
There
Colorado.
ain't no way that's
No, I'm
amazing.
just saying, theoretically. Give you being the best business because of your practice, your pricing, your HR,
I can
okay?
put all my weight
And then
behind
next
it.
day, you're not getting to fight, you punch me. Should they take that award away?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
shocked.
Right,
I'm
that's
shocked
nothing to
Chris
do
can,
with your business.
But no, but listen, I think what it is that
Hey, Mark,
Forum has
Yeah,
to
baby.
would you check my IM,
Forum,
please?
Forum, years ago, Forum,
Thought.
we're losing. Forum has a place in society.
But I recovered nice.
I disagree. I think if it's a man of the year,
I've seen
take it
them.
away.
You might have seen them.
For a specific accomplishment, it has nothing to do with what he did on stage.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think fucking.
This is the
that was
problem.
class act.
You got people burning down stores, and then you got.
But you know what's weird watching that is he's laughing at you, Joe. And next thing you know, he's headed up. You're right. He looked over, saw his wife, and he was like,
Today's world is where people are going to get scared because they don't like free speech. And so he made it a show. You know, and if you don't stop this up now, then what's going to happen is that what's going to prevent somebody?
But the recourse for him should have been pressing charges, not taking the water away.
All right, we can do that. If we do that, I'm fine with that.
But that was up to, who was it that got slapped? Chris Rock?
Yeah, but wait. I don't disagree there. He has to press charges. But listen, a crime's still a crime.
I'll be right back.
What happened?
I gotta see. Hold on.
I think the crime was still a crime. If it's in public view and they see it, you don't need a guy to press charges. A guy to press charges, to file charges. If you and I are out and about, right, and we're playing poker, and I find you guys are passing cards,
That's why we're so slow. We're basically off the air, guys.
We're off the air.
Yeah,
We're-
the radio towers are jacked
It's
up.
fucked up enough to where if you tune in, it's
Yeah, these guys are telling me all I'm getting is kisses. Ripped off. Bad news.
Bad news is
if they're listening through the app, they're fine though, right, Shannon? Tell people to use the app, man.
iHeartRadio app.
That's all they got to do.
No, I'm going to have you back because we're at low power. Okay. You're going to come right. I mean, we're going to have you back soon.
Okay.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Listen, things are really slow here because there's a technical difficulty. Let me just say it like it is. We're at low power. Very low power. So I'd like to know, and it's going to be fixed when, Shannon? How long will it be? An hour. So, only an hour. It'll be back to full power? Well, let's find out. Can you find out for me just for the heck of it? And then the email said that? Okay. So I thought he said we're taking it back down. Oh, never mind. Whatever it is. So go on the app, iHeart app, or YouTube or Facebook. You can hear the show. And then that's all we can do. I mean, I'm sorry about it. 303-713-8255. But we can be heard somewhat on the dial, but it's a little low power right now. It's more like our competition right now than. Hey, Fran, what's going on? Yes. Yes. What was your basis? What did you pay for it? And at $250, I want to ask another question. Did you depreciate it for rental purposes or any deductions? Oh, okay. All right. So you said $250. You bought it, and so you bought it for $250. You're going to sell it for what? Do you think $450?
Around $470, we think. $470, $480, maybe.
What part of Florida is this?
We're in Holiday, Florida, which is north of Tarpon Springs.
No, I know where that is.
Clearwater.
Yeah. You're sure you can? What size is it?
It's 1675.
Oh, okay. So 480 is about right.
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
480.
Has a pool.
Are you? I don't know. Maybe. Can you? Let me ask you this: you're going to have a real estate person do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a real estate girl come by today.
Yeah.
And the house next door to us sold for $485.
Yeah, but you're only going to realize after selling expenses about $450. So you take your $450 and you minus your $250, and then what you come up with is $200,000 in gain. And out of that $200,000 in gain, it's going to be long-term capital gain, and you don't have a state tax in Florida. So right now, long-term capital gain is 15%. So you'll pay 15%.
How long do we have to buy something else so that we don't pay any taxes?
You don't.
Oh, okay.
It's not allowed in second homes. It's only allowed for investment property that you do a deferral and you do a 1031 exchange. They're very complicated. And they don't, so that's the problem. That's the problem. So you can't, a lot of people think, now, if that was your primary residence, you would have up to $500,000 as a married couple to defer that gain up to $500,000.
Okay.
Yes, for advice.
So basically, we have to pay the capital gains whether we invest it right away or not.
That's right. You do.
And then if we don't find something right away, what do you suggest we do with the money until we find something?
Okay. Now, obviously, if you're looking for a safe place, I mean, you have to be safe if you want to use it for another house. So, I mean, you got to do something like a money market or a CD, something ridiculous. So, meaning you're not going to make a lot of money on it, but there's not much else you can do. I mean, if you don't want to risk investing it in a volatile stock market, there are certain other things, but it's not for short term, not for what you want.
Okay. So
I mean,
any money market or CD?
Something very conservative. Yes, that's what you want.
Be careful with those online ones.
Why is that, Mark?
Some of them, it's hard to get your money out.
It is. What he means by that is there's some online accounts. I had one that was paying 2% for just regular savings, right? Now, 2% is not terrible, right? It's not great, but it's not terrible for on. But in order to get the money out, they had limits per day, and it was a pain in the ass.
But now, my husband likes this Florida.
What's that?
Well, we would probably go with someone that you would recommend, maybe. You know, I know you have people on your show.
Yes.
That do this stuff, so we would probably go with one of your advisors.
As far as I mean, there's plenty of good people, but as far as Fran, how long of timetable do you think from the time you sell it to the time you get a new one?
Immediately.
I don't know, probably no more than a few months, actually.
Okay, where do you want to buy a place in Florida?
Closer to maybe Orlando area.
Okay. Now you understand the prices are up on everything, so you know that, right? You're going to be trading dollars to a certain. Okay. All right.
Right.
Now,
yeah, we're not going to come out with anything. We're going to have to put it all back in.
Yeah, and then maybe have a mortgage on top of it.
Hopefully not, because this house is paid off, so hopefully we don't have to.
Well, no, what I mean is you're going to sell it. Oh, I see. You're right. Yeah, I'm talking about the gain. You're right. You could probably find something. How far from Orlando are you willing to be, and why Orlando, by the way? That's not a great...
Probably like the Villages, right?
Have you ever thought about going... I mean, like how far? Would an hour and a half to 2 hours be too far from Orlando?
Well, that's about where we are right now. We also have family that lives in the Tavares area, which is a little north from us. They're about 30 minutes from Orlando.
No.
So we're thinking of maybe that area.
So you're only an hour and a half to 2 hours to Orlando?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow. Okay.
Can I just say something, Tom? I had the same problem when I sold my house and I'm having this new one built. And I talked to a bunch of people, and they basically said there's nothing that you can do to get short-term benefits that are safe other than a CD or a bank.
Okay. Well,
that makes sense.
No, that's not okay. Okay, obviously you can't do a lot of high risk investments, but there are things where you can get a little more. But you're right. For the most part, for short term money, you're really, that is true. There aren't really good alternatives.
Yeah, we were hoping that maybe we'd sell high and then a crash would hit.
You know what?
Buy low.
Well, hold on. That might happen. I mean, we are in for a recession. I want everyone to remember I said it. We will have a recession. We absolutely will. It's an impossibility not to have one because of the employment situation and the rate of inflation. It is impossible not for it to exhale. Inhaling is inflation. You get bigger.
Well, that's what we were thinking. We're not in a rush. We own our home in Colorado too, so
yeah. Well, that's good because guess what? Then you would be. I mean, you're one of the smart ones if you're willing to wait like this. You're really one of the smart ones because it's going to be the right time. And Florida, right now, Florida's enjoying a lot. Now, do you love Florida? You don't want Arizona, right?
Probably not. I think my husband likes more of the tropical, with the water.
Yeah.
In Florida.
I love Florida. I really do. A lot of people don't. I love it. I love the West Coast. Man, it's beautiful. I love the West Coast of Florida, but. And you're not.
We're not far from the Gulf.
No, that's where you are. You're on the west.
Not on the water, but we're far.
You're in a beautiful area. From Largo all the way up, or even St. Pete, but Largo and Newport Richey is north of you. That's beautiful. Yeah. Hudson is beautiful.
You're a few miles north of us. Yeah.
And in fact, all the way up to Crystal River. You have beautiful, beautiful areas. But anyway, let us know when you get close to that point. I don't want you being taken advantage of. 303-713-8255.
So I have a question, Tom.
Do you know how low our power is right now, bro? Is it 5,000? Wait, so normally 5, right? Did it say the power?
No, I mean, if you got the email, you know what I know, which is no.
But we're normally 5,000, right?
It's so darn reliable.
It's a very strong 5,000. It might be 10, but we're for some reason.
Okay. Joe Lazzara is someone that I hope you never need. He's a criminal defense attorney. Joseph A. Lazzara, attorney at law. You know what? Some people just get into trouble. And right now you might be facing a DUI from St. Patrick's Day or whatever. I'm going to say this straight up. I never encourage drinking and driving and then fighting it. Of course not. But if it happened, look, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you. Call Joe. Free initial consultations always and flat rate pricing. Joseph A. Lazara, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. You know, I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. Excel Roofing is the best run company I've ever encountered. And I'm not just talking about roofing. They also have some of the best people in business, and I'm not just talking roofing, and one of the best owners, and I'm not just talking roofing. ExcelRoofing.com. They really, truly understand roofing repairs and replacement, including the entire roofing system. They know how to replace a roof, and they have an eye toward energy efficiency at the same time. They can work with your insurance company, or they can work with your public adjuster. They've been in town for years and have the trust since 1993 of thousands of homeowners. They don't take a penny, not a cent, as they say, until you're content. Excel Roofing, as in excellent, E-X-C-E-L, excelroofing.com, 303-761-6400. Now, this is a company you can trust. 303-761-6400.
Hi, it's Marty Lenz. I've got some big...
So here, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How long does it take for the banks to increase interest rates on your deposit when inflation sets in? Isn't it, I mean...
They're pretty instant. They go by usually the T-bill. So when the T-bill changes,
so
usually your
does
deposit...
that change when just now, when they increase the interest rate by a quarter point?
Yeah, yours should go up. Yes.
5,000. Yep, 5,000 miles normally. And I don't know what we go down to at night, but I know the pattern changes, right? Because normally we're one direction and then we switch to.
I didn't know that. I thought the other stations go down. That's why, like 760 goes down, but we don't. I thought
they may go to 1,000. They go from 50
we don't go down
to 1,000.
We're a pretty strong station.
But we do change. Something changes because we used to at the old building. Remember on Yosemite, we were listening to the air signal in our headphones. That's what we listened to. And morning and night, there'd be something. I remember Jay Marvin would say, I think we just went over a bridge. Because, you know, you phase out for a few seconds. But, yeah, and I forgot we were at 120th and Holly up there off of Riverdale. I'm going to go check that out.
That?
Yeah, I think I went up there once about
25
there? Years ago. Up to the tower? No. Because it's 4 sticks, I think. It's not one. Like KOA is one because it's omnidirectional. Since ours is directional, it's 4 sticks up there, and I love Riverdale. You know, the street's haunted. Yeah. Well, right now our tower's haunted. Did you see the email why we're off?
They painted the wrong tower.
Yep, love that. And it's one of my favorite euphemisms. I'm having the tower painted tonight.
Tommy, I had German food last night. Do you like German food? Because I was kind of iffy about, it's different, right? Sauerkraut and sausage.
Yeah, I never liked it.
It was really good for my COVID taste issues.
You love it? Sauerkraut and pot roast.
I don't like
red cabbage on the side.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like any German food normally.
Well, we had John Mayer last night, so we found a place close by.
Is he a comedian? Never heard of him.
John.
No, he's a singer.
Cheesecake.
But what about Wiener Schnitzel? You don't like that? It's like.
By the way, I love Wiener. I love that. Absolutely.
What is that? How's that different from their sausage?
No. Oh, Wiener Schnitzel is a veal cutlet. It's
I didn't have that.
And there's one other thing.
You had veal parmesan, Susie?
Oh, it's way
better. You had veal parmesan. It's the same.
Poppies has great Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, they do.
It's the same veal. Oh,
now,
I'll have to try that.
What is the thing they make the special asparagus? Asparagus is a special.
No.
Wait.
Poppies?
No. There's a special German delicacy. I will find out. Anyway.
Not to tell me.
Wiener Schnitzel with red cabbage and potatoes is great.
Is it really?
Yeah. They make really good pork tenderloin.
You're right. Yeah. I love Wiener Schnitzel and red cabbage.
But what about pot roast? You don't like the German pot roast?
Right around 15 miles.
Or corned beef.
No, that's Irish.
Sign up
The people eat that one day a year.
Awards and partnership program and get exclusive
Court
rewards
weird.
that
Why do they
help
call
level
it
up your
court?
business.
Because
Program
it's
subject to terms and conditions valid through 12/31/22. See
Yeah,
Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
It's a prime rib cookie.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, I mentioned Genesis before. I want to mention also they do solar as well, a 25-year guarantee on all components and a 25-year production guarantee, meaning, listen to this, that with your production, they will write you a check if it doesn't generate what they expect if you have a cloudy year or something. It's not going to happen, but let's just say it does. They'll write you a check for the next 25 years. 303. And now, by the way, Genesis is a local company you can trust as well. GenesisSolarCO.com, 303-474-4317, 474-4317. All right, as I mentioned, we are at low power, unfortunately, for an hour or so. And, you know, if you can't hear us, we're going to be, I mean, if you can't hear us, you're not hearing this, but you are hearing it a bit. It's low power. So if it's crackly and staticky, I'm sorry. You can go to iHeartRadio app, download it, and look for KHOW. You can also go online, Facebook, YouTube, and we're on there broadcasting live. I have with me Paul the Waterman today. Paul is with waterpros.net. And I don't think you heard me say Excel Roofing was one of the best companies run no matter what, not even just in the roofing category, but just a great company with great people. Paul the Waterman, if I had to pick any of my sponsors, he has, and say this, I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I'm saying he has the best deals and the best value of anyone. And I'm not kidding. The best values of anyone when it comes to his water systems. Fran's back with another question. And Fran is going to sell her property in Florida, make about 400, and 200 is going to be gain, or a little more than that. She's going to be 200 and gain about maybe 450 she's going to make. So that's pretty good. She's going to look for another place. She was asking about gain, by the way. You have to pay gain with a home. Now, wait a minute. You know, a second home, yeah, you do, I guess. It has to be your primary residence to get the favorable treatment of exclusion.
Don't forget to get that basis up. You don't have to pay taxes on all that. You've done some upgrades to that house.
Okay, and Mark brings up a really good point. Your basis is not just your purchase price, but anything you put into that home that's a permanent improvement over the last, since you owned it. So, Fran, have you put improvements into it of any kind, including permanent appliances, painting, carpeting,
HVAC?
Oh, yeah.
How much can you goose up your basis?
Oh, maybe 10,000, maybe.
Oh, come on, 10 grand? Over how long did you own it?
About 15 years.
Did you ever paint it? Okay, well.
Yeah, we painted it. We put a new AC unit in it. We put a new water heater in it.
You've probably put 100 grand in it.
No. Now, wait a minute. You're telling me with all those stuff you did over the last 10 years, you would only have 10 grand in it?
Well, maybe we'd have more. I don't know.
Well, here, estimate it, Fran. Fran, estimate it. Very seldom are they going to come back and check. I'm not encouraging you to lie.
Nor would they say, hey, show me that $20,000 receipt from 12 years ago for that paint job.
No, but I'm not, well, listen, we're not suggesting you lie, but you can be pretty liberal in your estimating.
Okay, no problem. What I wanted to say also, we've been listening to you since Father John and Sister Lori days.
Oh my God, that is like 40 years. Well, anyway, what about it?
And so the other question I have is, you had mentioned a 1031. I think we bought this property with a 1031 because we sold some land in Colorado, in Denver, Aurora area. And so I think when we sold that land, we did a 1031 to buy this home.
Well, you couldn't have, because they would only allow like for like. In other words, if you sold land, you would have had to have purchased land. You know, I don't know if you call this investment property. Hold on. I don't know if you call this investment property if you get away with it, because maybe you do. Let me find out. I want to ask one of our tax experts, because I don't want you going off with the wrong information. For example, what if buying and holding is a business investment? I don't know, because you never rented it out, so you could say it was investment maybe. I don't know. Can we talk to Eric Reinemer at Atlas CPAs? Suze. Or Mallory, one of our accountants. Call them.
I wonder how much depreciation.
They didn't take any.
I thought you were forced to.
See, that's going to be another thing. I don't know, Mark. I don't know, because I had investment property, which was land. You don't depreciate it, and I got to keep it as investment property. She was exactly right. And it was considered 1031able, if that's a term. I just made the term 1031able. So, but I don't think you go from vacant land to a house. You know, but let's talk about it, Fran. Hang in there, okay? We'll call one of our tax people about 1031s, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, I have a question here from email, and here's what it is. What exactly, they hate us talking about it. What exactly, Paul, is reverse osmosis? What the heck does it mean? Now, you won't have enough time to tell us now. I'm going to take a quick break, but give me a hint.
Nanofiltration.
Why do they call it reverse osmosis? I thought that was taking the salt out of seawater. I thought that's the only time you talk about reverse osmosis, but it's not, is it?
No, it's the process of how they're filtering the water, sending the water through the filter.
Okay.
It's nanofiltration, because it's submicron. And so that's how...
So is it the finest of all filters?
An RO system, filtration-wise, yes.
What does just RO take out?
Well, it takes everything out. It takes out, the total dissolved solids. Will take out hard water. It takes out the chemicals. They're also attacking, pharmaceuticals.
So you could theoretically have, instead of a water softening in the house and purification at your sink, for drinking, filtered, you could have a whole house reverse osmosis, theoretically, and have it all.
Yes.
Perfect drinking water along with perfect soft water, all in one with reverse osmosis, but they're incredibly expensive. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So I want to ask about that and more coming up. Hold on.
Osmosis goes from high to low. This is using force to go from low to high, right?
What are you talking about?
Osmosis is when a dilute solution gets compromised by a higher concentration. Reverse osmosis pushes it. You need energy to push it the other way.
And it's low. So basically, an RO unit takes like 2 gallons to make 1 gallon of drinking water. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio.
When you reverse osmosis.
When you reverse osmosis.
Why? What is it doing that?
Well, because water's at 100% H2O.
When you take all the shit out,
and the worse the water, the higher the removal rate could be. You could be 3-to-1. And then hard water, if it's really hard, then it's going to affect the filter lifespan.
Yeah, here it says reverse osmosis water is dead water. It takes the good out as well.
No, that's not true. That's a false statement.
No, that's not true. That's a false statement.
Your body does not absorb the minerals in the water. That is the false statement.
The fact that it's good for you is bullshit.
That is. Your body, as we get older, the minerals in the water create gallstones, kidney stones, and even can have calcium buildup around your heart.
So let's talk about
personal injury. When somebody's injured, they have so many choices. They hear all these law firms talk about how big and bad they are. I have to tell you something. You don't want big and bad. You want small and attentive. You want a law firm that will treat you like an individual. Seriously. I mean, some of these big firms, I'm serious, they have intake centers. With John Fuller, you talk to him or one of his assistants, and he will take every case. He'll give you a cell phone number. He will treat you as an individual. Call and ask your questions and see the difference. John Fuller, Fuller Law, personalinjuryco.com, also at referralist.com. Here's the number, 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500. The art of granite is the art of doing countertops. Not just granite, though. I know that's the name, but he can do any man-made countertop or natural stone. He's a direct stone importer. He'll do the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. He'll also, by the way, he'll also sell all materials at wholesale and give you a quote on the phone, theartofgranite.com. Get your quote and get a great countertop. 303-386-5919. Of course, cabinets, too, if you want them. 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com.
Children's Hospital Colorado Mighty Millions raffle early bird deadline is next week. Win a Ford F-150 and Winnebago travel trailer. Or take $100,000 cash. Plus, you'll be entered to win the $2.5 million grand prize show home. There are over 11,000 incredible prizes with 1 in 15 odds of winning. Make a mighty difference for patients and families at Children's Hospital Colorado. Early bird deadline is next week. Buy now at MightyMillionsRaffle.com.
There are lots of places to get national news, but for the local stories that affect you most, count on Newsbreak's new email newsletter. Right now, listeners of this show will be entered for the chance to win $1,000 when they sign up for Newsbreak's brand new email newsletter at iHeart.com/Newsbreak. Get the top 5 news stories from your neighborhood delivered straight to your inbox every morning. It's completely free. Sign up at iHeart.com/Newsbreak and be entered to win $1,000.
Winter is here, but it's not too late to get a complete furnace check for just $79 from Plumline Services. Catch things before they turn into expensive problems. Turn to the experts you trust. Plumline Services, earning your trust since 1998. Now with a second location serving clients in Boulder, Longmont, and more. Service at home. Servants at heart. Schedule online at plumlineservices.com. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. Plumlineservices.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $33,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. Takes just a couple minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
The podcast, What's Your Problem?, dives deep into new technology and the challenges facing people at the top of their field. On each episode, Jacob Goldstein, former co-host of NPR's Planet Money, speaks with the entrepreneurs and engineers creating innovations in medicine, artificial intelligence, and more.
We didn't have a particular technology. We didn't have a business model. We didn't have a way of making money. It was great.
Miles, he still does.
Okay, let me tell you something. That motherfucker took my helicopter and flew it. Now, he can't hover and do all the finer shit. But he was flying the son of a bitch to Mark's house yesterday. We went yesterday, I guess.
It's all in the, what do they call it? The muscle.
Hand-eye. He was flying. I'm saying, motherfucker.
Hey, what'd you think about...
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Fran, hang in there. We're going to get an accountant on to talk about investment property. Meanwhile, we're going to go to Keith. Keith, you have a lot of complaints here, man. Let's hear them. You know, I'm always looking to improve. So let's hear them, sir.
Well, over the last 4 years, you've given me 5 or 6 referrals off your list.
Yeah.
And I called you about a couple of them. One was a lawyer.
Who was it, Keith?
He didn't even know how to take messages.
Who was it, Keith?
Well, I can't remember. I told you then when I called you.
I don't remember, but you call a lot now and then. You have a lot of good stuff to share with us sometimes. Sometimes you got nutty stuff, but I like hearing from you. So go ahead. Keep going.
So one was a trust guy who's on your show a lot, and he said on the air to me with you that he handled a certain type of trust I was looking for.
You had a weird trust you wanted. Now, was this David Salisbury back in the day, right? That was who it was. And
it was third-party settled trust.
Right. Yeah. I didn't even understand it. What about it?
After talking to him 2 separate short phone calls after that, on the 3rd phone call, he tells me he doesn't even deal with those kind of trusts. So anyway.
But Keith, hold on. Keith, before you go on, okay, I know you want to pile them up here, but before you go on, let's just talk about that. With that attorney saying he did it, maybe he misunderstood when he talked to you twice, but you didn't pay anything. There was no harm, no foul, right?
No, but it was a waste of energy and minutes.
Okay, go ahead. What else, Keith? Keep going. What else?
I mean, it was...
Because right now I'm getting a waste of minutes. What?
It boils down to incompetence.
Actually, Keith, hold on a second, all right? That is not fair to say that he talked to you twice and couldn't do your third-party settled trust, that he's incompetent. He has done many, many good things for many, many clients, and we got rave reviews, and he's done work for Mark, and he's done work for me. And so
you didn't listen to what I just said.
What?
I said... I talked to him twice on the phone.
I heard you, and you said, and I said no harm. I said no harm, no foul, because you didn't pay. And what you said was it comes down to incompetence, and I don't think it's fair to judge him by 2 phone calls. Bye. Go to hell, Keith. Listen, you know what? Okay, so he didn't do this third-party whatever settled trust for you, but he talked twice, and then he was honest with you and said no. And it all boils down to incompetence, he says. Listen. Incompetence is not being honest with you, saying, I can't do it. He didn't charge you money. He wasted 2 phone calls. Big deal. Big deal. I mean, big frickin' deal. But to call him incompetent based on that is ridiculous. Then the other one he talked about, he doesn't even remember the attorney. An attorney, he said, the secretary or assistant or whoever didn't even know how to take a message. All right, Keith. You know what? I don't consider you a credible complainer. And that's the truth. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't consider you credible. So things that come out of your mouth are either nutty or they're interesting. Remember he wanted to fight speeding tickets in federal court?
Was that him?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
And it was a guaranteed way it would work.
Right.
You bump it from the local district
to
federal court.
And then something happens in federal court. I don't know. He had this strategy. He said he did, but couldn't actually give me the cases. Oh, by the way, Keith, I want you to know something. Please call with that third one. I didn't get it. And I really mean that. I just got pissed. But I'll listen to the third one. I will. If you have a legit complaint, I want to hear it. I don't think that's a legit complaint against an attorney. When you talk to an attorney 2 times or even 3 times and they say, I don't think I can do what you're looking for, I don't call that incompetent. I want to talk to Eric Reinemer, accountant, CPA with Atlas CPAs and Advisors. They do our Troubleshooter network and all my personal stuff, and they do a great job. And we have a very good question for you, Eric. First of all, I want to know something here. I used to have vacant land I would deal in sometimes, and I'd buy and sell it, and I was able to 1031 it. And but I had to 1031 it into something like, because it was investment property. Does that mean if I have a vacant land as investment, I have to 1031 into vacant land?
No, it's real estate to real estate. So land or building are both considered real estate.
Okay, hold on then. So Fran, back in the day, Fran and her husband, they sold land and 1031'd it into an investment house in Florida.
Okay.
But they never rented it out, ever. They didn't depreciate it, and they didn't do anything. It just sat there, literally. And now they want to sell it. Can they 1031 again?
Yeah, as long as, yes, they can. There's nothing wrong with 1031. It just means no expenses, but they can definitely 1031 it again.
Okay, what if they stayed in it now and then, but it was still an investment property?
As long as they weren't retreating it and reporting it as their primary residence, that's where there's an issue.
Okay, now, Fran, you see, here, listen to this, Fran. Eric Reinemer is saying if you had indeed investment land back when you bought this and did a 1031 exchange, are you positive that's what you did?
Yes, I remember, because we did a 1031, and strangely enough, we closed on this property on 1031.
So now you probably can 1031 into another investment property, but obviously, you know, you don't have any expenses to write off because, well, they do have some improvements and stuff, Eric. That would just be added to their basis, right?
Yeah, but the real question, Fran, is how much gain did you have, and is it worth it to 1031 it? Or if it's not a big gain, you could just sell it. Capital gains rate aren't that low either. So don't let the tax deferral be the only thing driving your decision. Has it appreciated a lot?
Yeah, she bought it for $250. Go ahead, Fran.
I'm sorry. We bought it for $250, and the realtor that saw it today said she believes it will sell for around $470. I'm sorry, $470.
She might realize after all her selling expenses, I'm thinking she's going to realize about $240 and maybe $250 of gain.
Yeah,
no, not that much. Not that much. Wait, if you take, she said her basis was around $250, but then add to that, just say it's $270 because she put a lot of money into it. So she's got a $270 basis, and she's going to sell it for $470.
Minus commission.
Right.
Yeah, you might defer $175,000 a gain.
Right. So there's going to be about $195,000 maybe in gain. No, less than that. Maybe $180,000, $170 or $80,000. It's going to be substantial. Is that worth doing a 1031? I think so.
Yeah, unless, for example, you're in a very low tax bracket, or unless you want to use the money for something else. It all depends on what your goals are.
She wants to buy another house and call it investment again.
Okay. Then that would be a good thing to do.
Fran, I urge you to get someone professional at this to do it for you.
Okay. No problem. Who did you just have on, Tom?
Now, here's Eric can do the accounting part, but the 1031 exchange, you need a qualified intermediary in that state. Or not necessarily in that state, I don't think. Is it, Eric? It's a federal thing, right?
Yes, a federal thing.
So Eric is at Atlas CPAs and Advisors, okay? You can reach him at 303-779-9111. Suze, make sure she gets that number off the air. Now, then you find a qualified intermediary, it's called, for a 1031. We got more coming up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. The biggest delay is a rolled trash truck that has shut down the ramp from northbound and southbound I-25 to get onto eastbound I-70.
I'm reading what folks in the neighborhood are saying about Will.
Oh,
Chris.
And then
That guy woke up in a bad mood this morning, and he's so unhappy they had nothing better to do than to call your show.
Honey,
two left
that
lanes are closed. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, a high of 80 today. Nice low drops to 40.
some people have personality where it's hard to tell how pissed off they are. Will holds a smile even when he's pissed.
The station
We also
is
know
on
that
power right
open-handed
now.
slack, not
painting-
punch,
they're
and
painting the
Chris
tower.
wouldn't do anything. But I'm sure it shocked everyone who thought Will didn't have any.
Let's get a free adjustable
I gotta
base
go,
with
I gotta
qualifying purchases.
Like to
Don't
be
forget,
diplomatic to a
hot
point,
buys like up
but
to
once you cross the
50%
line,
off
well, professionally, physically,
Zero Res Denver, the place
to get your carpets clean with nothing. Well, what I mean is they don't have soaps and chemicals and emulsifiers. They truly are the green way to go, but it's not just for greenness. It's for cleanness. And I mean the best cleanness for the greenness, if you know what I'm talking about. I have my carpets done by Zero Res, and I love it. ZeroResDenver.com. No dirt-attracting residue, so your carpets stay clean longer. That's right. They stay clean longer, and they do a great job, and they dry faster, and you will absolutely love ZeroResDenver.com. That's ZeroResDenver.com. I think they're doing right now 3 room areas for $99. You can check the site to make sure. ZeroResDenver.com, 303-471-5150. You know who else I love talking about on this show? I love talking about people who make other people's lives easier. And Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies does that. They take the fear and unknowingness out of retirement. No, you may have investments, 401ks, pensions, you may have a reverse loan, you may have Blake Harris doing your estate plan, but do you have anyone that's truly helping you with retirement? And I mean looking at everything. They coordinate it. They can even play the part of your investment counselor. They can do as much or as little as you want, and you pay accordingly. All of those fees are disclosed up front. In fact, they won't do anything without getting your permission. rpcenter.com. In fact, they'll meet with you as many times as it takes for you to be comfortable. They'll come to you. You go to them. Or you can meet on Zoom. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211. One thing we can all agree on, debt is bad for us. A solid, secure retirement is good. Get smart.
Smart Money Moves.
This is the dumbest fucking thing.
Smart Money Moves are Saturdays at 2 p.m. on KHAL. Could be the best decision you make all year. I should have had done right to it.
Those guys.
Who?
Done right.
I hope Stan Zucchini order done right.
Expensive as shit.
Expensive as shit. They don't pull permits.
I don't. To refinish though, do you have to pull a permit?
I don't know.
What's been more
relocated drain
health and wellness, modern medicine.
They did a great job on my bathroom, I have to say.
Yeah, I had a bathroom done and it leaked the day, the morning they left, I had to leak.
Yeah, really, I was very impressed with the quality of their work.
If you relocate a drain work or if you move a drain, it has to be
trapping dirt and
permitted. If
germs.
you're just
The first line
replacing
of
and
defense
using the
against
same, you
allergens,
don't.
bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nose, there's bacteria where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and back at Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Pull permits. To me, if I do something brand new,
Who told you they don't?
because I talked to the minister, because I had issues with him, and he told me, I said, did you pull a permit? No, we don't.
Did you have it at your house?
Yeah, I'm at my house. Did my kitchen counter cabinets and the upstairs bathroom.
They'll credit you.
They wanted 49 $8,000. I said, you guys are nuts. I'm not going to do it. Right? He said, no way. The next day they dropped it down to 36.
You could do all new cabinets for that.
Right. But so they paid down 20 grand, and they said, okay, do it. And it took them forever to get it done. And the day they left, I had a leak from the upstairs shower. Yeah, because what they do is they make their own shower pans. They do all the stuff in house. That's why it's a huge markup for them. And so their design was flawed, and it took like 3 different leaks. They finally got it right. But yeah. The last time, right, they had to rip out the shower and do it all over again. And
Well, why did you decide not to get all new?
No, it is. It is all new.
I thought they did facing.
No, I got all new cabinets. I don't do facing.
Okay.
I got all new
So
cabinets.
they do either or.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so they did my cabinets. And
Were they beautiful cabinets?
Yeah, I like them. Everything's a good look. They did a good job. Okay. But the bathroom, the shower pans.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's another issue.
By the way, on CNN, there was a commentator, and I swear to God, guess who they blamed for Will Smith's behavior?
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump. Yep.
Everything's
They did. They blamed Donald Trump.
What did they say?
For making people this behavior acceptable.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Dave has a comment on 1031 exchanges. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave. What's going on?
Hey, Tom. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Tom, this is Dave down in Florida. The cost basis that you guys were just talking about, I think you're forgetting about the original cost of the land.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's your true cost basis.
Hold on. You're right about that. When you do a 1031, you defer that gain into that house, right?
Right.
So tell us how we would figure it then. Let's say this house is worth, let's say she's going to get, $190,000 gain. But how would you figure the old? I used to remember this. I used to know this.
You would take whatever you bought the land for, what you essentially sold it for, and that difference is a gain that she deferred in the first place.
Right, and that gain does it add? You mean it subtracts from her basis to make it even more of a gain, right? More of a gain, yeah, absolutely. I forgot about that.
If those gains are really high and people just want to get out of those assets, we have an amazing strategy for pocketing most of the capital gains today. And
wait a minute. Now, I want people listening to know what a 1031 is to begin with. Let's say I buy a piece of property and I'm going to make a $50,000 gain on that. That means I would have to pay tax on $50,000. Now, this is not a residence. We're talking about a business property of some kind. So now let's say instead of paying tax on the 50 grand, I buy another property and I buy a property for 200,000. That 50 grand is being deferred into there. So instead of my basis being 200,000, it's immediately just 150. Isn't that right, Dave?
Correct, yes.
And then I have to figure my basis from there. Okay, now, having said all of that, you said you have an amazing strategy. Spill it, bro. Yeah, spill it.
Well, for assets, highly appreciated assets, over $500,000, I have an amazing partner. He's an attorney, and he has a strategy in order to be able to pocket most of the capital gains today, put them off into the future where they're taken care of by some of the instruments I deal in. And
can you give us a teaser on how you do it?
I can't really give you a teaser, so to speak, because everybody is such an individual out there, and it depends on what the capital.
Can you give us examples of what you've done in the past for people?
Well, let's say it's an apartment complex.
Okay.
That there's $1 million worth of capital gains, and long-term capital gains. I think the amount is
20.
20% now.
15. Well, isn't it 15 federal and 5 state in Colorado?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it is.
All right.
But so there'd be $200,000 worth of, or at least taxes due on.
Right. That's right.
And so my attorney has a strategy that he can defer that off into the future.
Without,
like
hold on.
Off into the future.
Without a 1031.
Without a 1031. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. My attorney partner is a pretty amazing guy. He actually for certain business owners that are highly successful with enough employees, he can set them up to run on an untaxed basis. He's an amazing guy. We've done a lot of work in that area.
Is he in Florida?
So, he happens to live in Florida now. Yes.
Okay.
But he used to be in Michigan.
I have an important question. Are any of his clients doing time?
None.
No, seriously.
As a matter of fact, the advanced planning strategy we have for business owners is pretty amazing. He's helped over 300 companies set this plan up, and it's the only way that you can fund non-qualified deferred compensation completely and utterly tax-free going in and going out.
All right, hold on a second, bro. Hold on a second. Suze, get his contact information. Okay, we got more coming up.
When selling your home, you want to be certain you put the most money.
Nut, because Mark was already calling him a nut. Did you see it? I saw it in his eyes. Look.
I know, man.
Which frustration or
Yeah,
I can't quite explain to you what's going on here because everybody's different.
I know that was weird.
Learn about her zero commission program where the buyer pays all of the commission, saving you thousands of dollars, or her 24-hour cash offer program, and of course, how Gay will guarantee to sell your home at 100% of your asking price, or she will pay you the difference. Gay is getting her sellers top dollar every single day, and she will help you find the best program that works for you. Call Gay Ripple today, 833-453.
I like that, Ken. If you don't believe me, just ask me.
Sold, that's 833-453-SOLD, or visit gayhasthebuyers.com. That's gay spelled G-A-Y-E, gayhasthebuyers.com. Portions of the following program will be recorded.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station, available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
ABC News, I'm Ellen Lopez. Ukrainian forces are pushing back the Russian army, but Ukrainian officials say Russians might be regrouping in the east in an effort to potentially split the country in two because its ground campaign is stalling elsewhere. A new round of face-to-face peace talks are scheduled this week. This as refugees keep pouring into Poland. ABC's Maria Villarreal is in Warsaw.
Right now what we're seeing is a steady stream of families still coming through. I mean, some of the NGOs that we spoke with on the border that have been there for weeks now, if not more than a month, tell us that they are seeing right now about 1,000 to 2,000 people come through every day. It is not slowing down by any means.
The UN says more than 3.8 million Ukrainians have now fled. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed
Isn't that the name of
Don't Say Gay bill.
Isn't that the name of
sexual orientation
a joke with Indians? Do we cheat them now? What is the joke? Does it say there?
That was a law firm. It was a law firm. It was the name of a law firm in a Groucho Marx movie.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
The Supreme Court will hear
It might have been in Duck Soup.
Andy Warhol's images of Prince.
In 1984, Andy Warhol created a series of 16 silkscreen prints and pencil illustrations of Prince based on a photo by Lynn Goldsmith, who argued the work infringed on her copyright. The district court here in New York sided with Warhol, but the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals reversed, finding that Warhol did not use the Goldsmith photograph simply as a reference, but included detail down to the glint in Prince's eyes where the umbrellas in Goldsmith studios reflected off his pupils. The Supreme Court will now consider whether Warhol's creation would be quite different had he based it on someone else's picture. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Owen Lopez, ABC News.
Jackson Hewitt needs you to know 3 things about filing taxes this year. 1, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table. 2, you have to file for them to make sure you get the right amount. 3, a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help track down every credit you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, going to school, and so much more. You don't want to miss out on thousands. Jackson Hewitt knows that. Discover thousands in tax credits and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Look, it's just Biden gonna make COVID look like
marketing
a
consultancy
bioterrorism
is
attack.
skyrocketing. So this week is a biggie. We've got the pitch and 3 client meetings.
She meets another analyst before her team's free time plummets.
Who's running the competitive analysis on fruit snacks?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I mean, Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
K-How News Time, 12:03.
Officials say the NCAR fire is holding steady at around 190 acres and is 35% contained, while evacuations have been lifted. Fire Watchbird and Boulder Fire says there are still some restrictions in place.
We still have.
If I don't, it'll make my choice for me.
Close, so we're asking for
What?
stay out of
If
that
I
area
can't get what I
today.
want for the Jeep, or something
And the
decent,
hiking trails in the
more
area.
than the trade, it'll make my choice for me.
What do you mean?
I won't do it if I can't sell the Jeep.
Well, it'll only go down. It's not going to go up.
Well, I know, but I won't do the new deal. I just will keep it. If I can't get it now at the best time to get it, Shannon, can you grip up?
The ability of a property owner to sell their property. And one of the reasons that
you know what I'm saying,
is what other industries
What are the storage units called in a coach? You're underneath
Cargo bays, I think. That's what I call it.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast.
The ramps from I-25 to eastbound I-70 shut down because a trash truck has slipped on its side. Traffic being diverted onto westbound I-70. You can go down to Pecos and then turn around and get back on eastbound I-70 there. So that is the biggest delay right now. Watch for activity. 2 left lanes reportedly closed for emergency road work on 225 northbound at I-70. Fox 31.
Hey, Smarty Pants, how you doing, brother?
Tonight's low 44, and then for tomorrow, 30% chance for rain.
How's it going?
59. Currently, it's 70. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin. 6:30. Hey, how?
You think most
Wendy's Breakfast, the official breakfast
chiropractors are on the straight and narrow top?
honey butter chicken biscuit.
Hell no!
I think they take a special year-long course in upselling.
For over 150 years.
Okay, we're just kidding. We'll stop. God.
From where they are to where they want.
Actually, you want to know the truth? I think there are, if you took the population of MDs and the population of chiropractors, there's as many scams in the MD industry.
Tom, you are so wrong.
Oh, as many.
Not, of course not.
Maybe more.
No, there are a lot of fucked up MDs.
Like what?
Okay, supervising clinics where they never walk in it.
Yeah, there are some that do that.
Yeah.
But
as an industry,
there are approximately 15,000 OBGYNs.
I'm not talking about OBGYN.
No, but talking about MDs. So I'll give you an example. That there were so few that were called out for unsafe practices. Most
I'm
doctors.
not talking about that. I'm not talking about good or bad. I'm talking about scams. I'm not talking about safety. I'm talking, okay, like fucking products that don't work, things that don't work, extra parts of practices that don't work. That's what I'm talking about.
How about when they remove the wrong body part because they didn't label it correctly? You wake up and the wrong arm's gone.
That's so rare.
I don't know, man.
It's the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, realestateman.com. Complimentary market valuations or market analysis of your home. He'll tell you what it will sell for, and he means it. And he's good at it. He's been doing it for 27 years. And I'm telling you, it'll give you a great idea. It's not a drive-by. It's a true market analysis. Pictures, measurements, comparables. Way better than an appraisal if you're selling, that is, because it'll tell you what it'll sell for. Now, your buyer will need an appraisal, but most houses are selling for more. Find out more from Frank Duran. He never holds you to a long-term contract. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Luke, welcome to the show. What's going on, Luke? What's happening?
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on, man?
Listener.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm pretty excited. I went under contract for a house over the weekend.
Oh, good.
And, yes, very excited.
Now, hold on. Did you pay out the nose or what? Tell me what you're doing with the house first.
Believe it or not, we paid asking price. I think it was listed a little bit too high, and they didn't garner as much activity on the property.
Where is the house?
It's down in Littleton, so it's kind of a little bit south of Columbine High School.
I like that area.
Me too. Been looking down there for a while now.
What's going on?
I'm living in a rental property in Southwest Denver right now, and the property that I'm in is about 1,100 or so square feet. I sold my house, moved into this place, so I've got a lot of my stuff still boxed, and so we're just kind of in the transitioning period to move. And this next time around, I had my friends help me the last time I moved. We're getting to an age where that's a little too, we're getting too old to be doing that anymore.
How much do you have to move?
It's not too much. Like I said, it's about 1,100 square foot house that I have. So, I've got the regular stuff, couches, tables, a lot of box stuff.
Let me ask you something, Luke. I had asked this no matter where you're moving. But I'm asking, is a lot of that, is it time? Let me ask you this. Is it time to maybe some of the stuff people have, they don't realize this, is not worth moving? I'm serious. The cost of moving it is more than you could, if you took the cost of moving an estimate, and you can always go and get estimates first. You may decide, hey, you know what? I'll take the few really keepsakes I need, and then let me just buy new stuff and have it delivered. And I mean that. So keep going.
Yeah. No, that's totally a good point. I had been doing, since I've been here and before I moved out of my other house, been doing a lot of downsizing. I'm hoping I'm getting into most of the essentials that I want to keep. But anyhow, my question kind of was around, I was looking on the referral list. You got two movers that are.
I thought we had three movers on there. Mark, come over here. Look, I see a third one there.
If we've got three, we have three.
Okay, American.
Yep. Cowboy.
And Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three.
I might have missed the third one. I don't know how I missed that other one. But I was looking at Amazing and Cowboy, and I was looking at Cowboy mostly because they were kind of closer down south. They looked like they were in a southern part of the city.
They're movers. What the hell? It doesn't matter where they are.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Listen. I've used Amazing and I've used American, and I've had great results. We hear great things about Cowboy as well, right, Mark?
Yep.
So we got three good ones, and let me tell you something. In the world of moving, you better be damn careful.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to call.
You wouldn't go. Hey, I'm telling you, Luke, you wouldn't go wrong with any of them.
Okay. That sounds good. And I've never used a moving company before. Do you know if I have certain things that, I unpack and need to pack and stuff like that, do they help with packing and stuff?
Yeah, you can do as much or as little as you want as far as the packing services. Now, that gets expensive when they do the packing. They do it right, and then they take responsibility for it. Whereas if you do it and you buy the insurance isn't worth crap. It really isn't. And that's for any mover. It's not. Most of the time, if you have insurance on stuff, I had something broken one time by one of these guys. I'm telling you, I'm not mad at him or anything. It just happened. And by the time you took into the weight and the insurance and all that, I was going to get like 60 cents for it.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I mean that. It was like a bowl. So I say, forget it. I'm not going through a claim for 60 cents or whatever. It's really sometimes it's just the luck. I mean, you break some stuff. Now, I'm not talking about big stuff. They're pretty responsible with the big stuff. But you just have to be really careful on how they pack it. Like, for your TVs and stuff, I would have them wrap them. I wouldn't do it. And art.
Okay.
And mirrors. Okay. Mirrors. Big mirrors. Okay. Yeah, that kind of stuff, they know what they're doing. They know if they're responsible, they're going to take care of it. On the other stuff that you pack, I've had, the last time I had Amazing, the very last time, and they did everything. I didn't touch it. They came in and boom. All I did was remove what I didn't want.
Okay.
So anyway,
cool. All right.
Yeah. So I don't think you'll go wrong with any of them.
Okay, cool. Well, that's mainly what I wanted to get, and that makes me feel better as I call them and
now,
get estimates.
I want to ask some stuff. Did you have that house inspected?
Yes. Well, we are going to have it inspected. The inspection, I think, we're doing this Friday. And then appraisal, I think, is happening in a week or two after that. So, yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it was a good deal. So we'll see if it happens out.
Good. Well, how many square feet you moving into?
Well, I'm a single person. I'm going to take a lot of crap for this, but the house is like 4,300 square feet, I think. So it's a pretty decent size.
Wow, that's pretty good going from 1,143. That's cool. And in a nice area. So good luck to you. Luke, call us for any services, man, you need so you protect yourself. 303-713-8255. Let's talk to Paul the Waterman with waterpros.net. We talk a lot about the two main things you do, the whole house softening for around $2,000, and then it's slightly over now. It used to be under, but the water filtration at the sink for drinking under $1,000. So what else do you offer? But in other words, what else is there? What else is there? If you wanted to go nuts, I guess you could do, and no one really does a whole house reverse osmosis. That would be both drinking water and it would be softening. That would be incredible. But it would be incredible. But man, would that be expensive, right?
Right.
About $25,000, right?
Right. Whole house ROs are for folks that have extremely problem water, right? Where the TDS level is really high, natural sodium in the water, where some folks in Colorado do. So, you need a whole house RO system for that. We do whole house filters. We have what we call the one cartridge.
Now, what does a whole house filter do?
It attacks the total chlorine content, removes the PFOs and PFAs. It's a forever chemical that's in our water.
Okay, but it doesn't. Okay, so if you did a house filter, a whole house filter, does it give you pretty good drinking water?
It gives you pretty good drinking water, but not a reverse osmosis drinking water.
Not like bottled water.
Right.
Or actually, bottled water is not as good as this.
Right, exactly. And bottled water is an industry that, as of right now, isn't regulated, so it's all based upon the manufacturer.
Have you ever tested bottled water?
Some bottled water is hard. Absolutely.
Yeah. Really? It's supposed to be soft.
Well, not all.
No.
Some put minerals in the water for flavor. So, the minerals in the water our body does not absorb. It's something that's not a nutrient. So you get the minerals from, organics, milk, for example.
Okay, so as far as then the whole house filter, what it does give you pretty good drinking water?
Right. So there's a lot of people out there that have allergic reaction or skin issues with the chlorination or the sanitation of our water. So a whole house filter will eliminate that and helps with the reaction that they get.
But it doesn't do anything for softening, right?
Correct.
And what does a whole house filter cost about?
$1,895. $1,895.
That's not bad, actually.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No, yeah.
That's for a whole house filter. How often do you have to change it?
Based on the water conditions, it could last a year or it could be every 2 years based on what the water conditions are.
All right, I want to make an announcement for those who might be tuning in now. We are back to full power. We had some technical difficulties this morning. So let me reset this. I am the Troubleshooter on every day from 10 to 2 Mountain Time. We have Paul the Waterman with us from waterpros.net. We've been talking about problems, questions, and complaints. I told you about realcbdthatworks.com, 40% off till April 1st. using Tom and the promo code. I told you about Frank Duran doing free market valuations for your home. Renew Home Innovations for beautiful bathrooms. RenewHomeInnovations.com. And GenesisSolarCO.com for solar systems guaranteed for 25 years. I brought you up to date. We also had a call about 1031 tax-free exchanges, which was very interesting. A woman had a house in Florida she wants to sell. She's used it as an investment property, never rented it out, but because she called it investment, she can literally now 1031 out of that into another house, according to our CPA, which is very interesting. If you have any questions, problems, or complaints, someone lied to you, cheated you, ripped you off, we're at full power. I hope you're tuning in. 303-713-8255.
I got my Christmas gift.
Uh-oh. You got what?
I got my Christmas gift from my heart. What's a meeting this morning?
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it? A goodie bag.
It's a couple bottles of wine.
Oh.
Would you like some wine?
Okay.
What, you don't drink wine?
I don't.
That was your Christmas bag?
Yeah.
Okay, Fix It 24/7 is the company I use in my home for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. It's a company you can trust. I've known the owner for many, many years. I know the people, many of them. I've gone to their company meetings, and here's the message. For dependability and value and honesty, fixmyhome.com, 720-526-3939. And now an extreme clean and check of your furnace system for just $24. And mind you, you're going to need the furnace, especially when you get into the cooling season. You also need it. And they'll give you a no breakdown guarantee for an extreme clean and check. That's an adjustment. Fixmyhome.com, 720-526-3939, just $24. Let's talk about Simply Floors, Inc. Simply Floors, Inc., Buddy and Karen Mitchell doing a great job selling floor coverings at reduced prices, lower than even the big boxes in most of them. They have a complete line of carpeting from all price ranges. They also have LVT, luxury vinyl tile, and they're experts at the installation of that. And, of course, hardwoods of all kinds. Now, here's what I want you to do. Set up an appointment, and you'll love them. You set it up on your own, you get better installers, better prices, better financing, and a better all-around experience. SimplyFloorsInc.com.
All right, if you've been affected by these fires, or if you've been affected by a hailstorm or any issue where you have to deal with your homeowner's insurance, please don't do it by yourself. You want to call Matt at Paragon Services. My company came out after a hailstorm and told me I had zero damage. I called Matt up just to make sure. I ended up getting a check for $70,000. That adjuster is not your friend. You need someone on your side. Call Paragon Services. Matt will look at everything for free. He'll tell you exactly what he can do for you. 719-726-0020. Matt, Paragon Services, 719-726-0020.
Sometimes in divorce, courts require the higher earner to pay to the other party what's called spousal support or alimony. Usually this order can be modified.
So is that zip file that I got a good
such modifications are often complicated and are best entrusted to attorneys that are well acquainted with such matters. At Cordell & Cordell, that's our business. Remember, you're not alone. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Colorado area attorneys. A partner men can count on. 866-DADS-LAW. CordellCordell.com. Another prescription.
And I cannot find.
Here we go. But the joint pain is still
So, Tom,
I got these huge
have
bins.
you any experience with Ironwood
Probably.
landscaping?
Ironwood?
It's on your referral list.
Oh, she sent
4
the zip
feet.
file to you. God damn it.
With Sully's Landscaping?
4 feet by
They're both on the referral list.
I don't have any personal experience.
12
Okay.
feet.
Because it looks like Sheriff is more
And they're probably
decks and patios and
it's
not
one big
landscaping.
rectangle.
Okay,
4 feet by 12.
Mr. Green people.
They're good
And
people.
they're
Yeah.
probably 8 inches high.
Okay.
I want something that I can, almost like a kitchen knife drawer, where you can take these big bins and turn them
I
into a
just want
bunch
to
of
make sure
little
she doesn't do that
cookies.
to anyone else.
But I can't find anything that fucking big.
That's because she sent a file. She
I
didn't
know,
send
I don't feel like
individual
grabbing a
files.
fucking 2x4.
See, they're very big. She can't send the whole thing. I'm going to send out a team email. I think they're all going to be confused on that. I'm going to send out a team. Thank you for letting me know that. That's really important.
Why they delivered his Christmas gift in April?
Yeah. COVID.
Happy birthday, by the way, Talib.
When's my birthday?
I have no idea. But since they're delivering Christmas gifts to him in April, I figured I'd cover my bases with your...
When's my birthday?
When's your birthday?
August.
August when?
August the 2nd.
Ask him what I got him for his 50th birthday,
Wait, now,
which was 20 years ago.
Happy birthday with lots of love.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
That was sweet.
You know what wine you want to get rid of?
When's your birthday?
November 13th.
All right, well, hang on. Happy birthday with lots of love from Paul the Waterman.
Oh, thank you.
But Doc doesn't drink.
That's my son.
Oh.
You don't drink anything, Don?
When he turned 50, I got him 50 little bottles of Jack Daniels.
Oh, my God.
And he drank all 50 of them.
No, I can't drink anymore.
Well, he didn't drink them all at once.
He's talking about me.
Oh, you?
Yeah. He expected me to drink them that night.
I think I did that a few birthdays.
No, it was just 50 that you did that. But see, we ended up partying with those things. See, we took them to the bar. We were drinking in the bar. And we were going to drink them in the bar. And then I looked at him. I said, man, you think I'm going to drink all of these tonight?
Well, I went for my 50s. We went to the, what's the one with the water show?
The what?
Vegas, Bellagio.
Oh, Circus Olay
No,
Walk.
Bellagio.
Yeah, Bellagio. I got one of those little cabanas, private cabana out by the pool.
Oh.
Oh, man, that was...
Tom, you anything to
We
drink?
did that when my kid turned 21.
We don't have
MGM, we got a cabana.
That is the best party.
Water, water.
The cabana party is the best
Cabana
party.
stuff. Yeah, we got one exclusive with the private pool. I mean, we splurged.
So I don't know how Bellagio did it. This was only last year. MGM, I paid $1,000 for the thing, but it included $700 worth of food and drink.
Yeah, you got it.
But it's ridiculous. You know, each beer is like $25.
Martino here, 303.
713 Talk 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. We are back at full power. If you've tried to tune in earlier, you may have had a problem. There was some maintenance being done on the tower, and we are now at full power back again. Let's talk to Rod. Hey, Rod, what's going on? Sir, you're on with Paul the Waterman. I think he can answer your questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, what is the HP balance? I see a lot of, hey, our natural HP balance is between 7 and 8. I see, Armor Sports Water at 9.5. What is your recommendation on that stuff?
I'd stay away. Your stomach acidity, right? You have to figure is low enough to digest food. So anything that you introduce to the body that counters that, I don't see as a benefit. Reverse osmosis water comes in at about 5 on the pH scale. But that's, how the water enhances flavor in food. That's how the coffee tastes better, your soups, whatever you use for cooking, because of the low alkaline principle. So I haven't seen anything personally as far as elevated pH that's legitimate. I know there's a lot of folks that sell it. I know there's a machine out there that, you can buy that's supposed to, do it, in your home. But yeah, I think my personal opinion is, and what I have at my house is, reverse osmosis. And I just think it just because of the low pH, it just enhances the flavors, and then it doesn't, it helps with digestion, and it's absorbed quicker because it's, within line of what our stomach acids are.
Okay, how about hydration? Does that have any effect on keeping yourself hydrated, or is that just the amount of water you drink every day?
I think it's the amount of water. I mean, it's just absolutely. I know well,
there's some people that claim high alkaline is good.
Well, before Gatorade, we drank pickle juice, right? We drank, vinegar. So that, so Gatorade came and it's an absorption factor with alcohol, and so
Is that high alkaline?
Yeah.
Why does high alkaline get more absorbed?
Well, no, I don't know if it gets more absorbed.
Oh.
I think the low pH, it makes more sense to me because, again, it goes back to your stomach acid. What the stomach acids are to digest food, right? Is what's our stomach acid? Dacomos 0?
It's pretty low.
Hold on, you got to turn your mic on, Doc.
I don't know exactly what the pH is,
but it's
very acidic.
It's very acidic. So if you drink water with low pH, your stomach is going to absorb that more. As far as water absorption, the other stuff I couldn't tell you.
I've heard the high pH actually dehydrates you. But the 9.5 and that type of thing actually doesn't do any good in that aspect.
Well, it can create stomach issues. You're right. There are, as you're talking, you mentioned that it can make people sick, and high pH water can also be too sensitive for the skin. Can have people, create reaction with their skin.
All right.
Okay, so
go ahead.
When you start looking at these expensive waters, are you just saying, hey, I don't have your system, but drinking bottled water, is the Aero stuff just as good as the Core, or, talking brands?
I think all bottled water is a flip of a coin. Wasn't there a manufacturer a couple of years ago that got in trouble because of the quality of water that they were bottling? They were misrepresenting the label. As I mentioned before, bottled water is not regulated, right? So it's called the IBWA, Independent Bottled Water Association. So they give guidelines that's recommended that you and I could take water from your kitchen tap right now, call it Colorado bottled water, and sell it and without an issue.
Now, here's what researchers are finding that I looked up. There's no secret. Water is water is water as far as hydration. Now, it's really a preference and what gets you to drink it. But I always thought, I thought there were some waters, I guess, that absorbed or were better hydration. But this stuff about now, obviously, you want to know what's in your water, like total dissolved solids, forever chemicals, minerals, all of that. That might affect it, but it doesn't affect the actual absorption of the water. It just means you're absorbing a lot more than just water. So the purity of water counts, but apparently the pH of water, regular drinking water, but I don't know what is pH of regular drinking water. That I don't even understand.
It should be 7 if it's totally neutral.
Okay.
7 is neutral. Anything, but now Colorado, believe it or not, in a lot of areas have very acidic water where it's aggressive. In older homes, it attacks the copper pipes. So that's an issue that you mentioned. We also offer.
I fell for that alkaline thing, thinking it was better. Now, what kind of water is better for cleaning? That's different than drinking.
Well, I think
soft water cleans better.
Soft water clean, absolutely. Listen, if we want to protect our water resource, water softening is the way to go because it eliminates a lot of the chemicals that we put into our water supply. Anything that's sent down the drain, I say this all the time, does not disappear. It's diluted. And so,
but by the way, so soft water is better for cleaning.
Yeah.
And alkaline's better for cleaning, right?
Well, I don't know about the cleaning aspect. I know that low pH water I recommend is better for drinking and for your food taste.
All right, thank you, Rod. Appreciate it. Now, Charlie, you have something to say about water? Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask Rod while he was there, we're in the process of remodeling a 4,300 square foot place, and we're looking at a whole home system. And obviously, I want to get as close to DI water as possible, but is there an affordable way of doing that?
DI water meaning?
Deionization water is medical grade water. You don't want to drink DI water. DI water is measured in, I think, ohms, if I'm not mistaken. They use it in chemotherapy. They use it for cancer patients. They use it for kidney dialysis. So that's a medical grade water for purity aspect of it. For the body, I definitely, would recommend, in my home, I have a water softener, a whole house filter. I have the reverse osmosis and the ultraviolet light. And I use the UV light just for that insurance for bacteria. But my point of use RO system is supported by water softening. So I know that those filters are going to be allowed to focus on other contaminants because they won't be preoccupied by hardness. But DI water is a separate process. It's a very detailed. I think there's like a process of 2 different kinds of resin that is used, and they have a filter media, an ion exchange resin that's used to achieve that. But I know the water has to be pre-treated before it goes into that DI filter.
So coming full circle, what you have for your house, you don't have any buildup in your shower head. That's something we're trying to avoid.
Oh, no, you won't do that. Yeah, you won't have that with his systems at all.
No, and that's 100% soft water is what we have in our home. And the other thing is that it cuts back on cleaners and soaps, and that's important because the less we put back down the drain, is the less it's going to be accumulated years down the road.
Let me ask you something, Charlie. What area are you building your house? That means a lot too.
Well, so I'm on the western slope, and we used to live in Denver. I think you and I talked a couple of times. As a matter of fact, we got Frank Duran involved, who was extremely helpful. We ended up buying that commercial property, and we've got the upstairs 2 stories, and we're converting the 4,300 square feet into a residence.
What water system?
Well, right now we don't have any water. Right now it's just city water. But
that's what I mean. What municipality?
Oh, sorry. It's Delta.
Is that going to be hard water?
I couldn't tell you, but most likely Delta. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay,
but
so
if you want,
would you go? You won't go to Delta to do a test.
But he could mail me a sample. Put it in the Forever box for like $5 and mail a sample in an empty bottle of water, and we'll test it at the shop.
Okay,
Charlie.
Okay, that sounds great. Let me get his information offline. The other question is the drain, the pipes that we have are really old. And when I say really old, I mean 130-year-old cast iron. Now, we had them scoped, and they look good. Any recommendations on the water from that perspective?
No, I think those you're going to be okay. What happens over a period of time is that soap sludge and hard water creates soap sludge, and so if they're cleaned out, then you're in good shape. Because really hard water causes soap to basically sludge and curdle, and so that's all the gunk that builds up when you look at a pipe that's corroded.
So even more of a reason to get a whole home system. Perfect. Hey, thanks, guys. I'll get the information offline.
All right, Charlie, it's Water Pros. Look it up, waterpros.net. It'll tell you everything you need, including his number, waterpros.net. We have more coming up.
So you know those PFOs or PFAs that you're talking about? They said that they found that they attract. It's like they jerk each other out and reform.
Now, impact traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. The trash truck that is tipped over, blocking the ramps from both northbound and southbound I-25.
That's incredible, a trash truck. Like
Eventually
once a year, a trash truck
traffic
goes
being
over.
diverted onto northbound
Oh, yeah, it
I-70.
was.
Take those where you can
I'm
come back
with
on
my
the
trash
eastern
truck.
lanes of
He's still
I-70.
hungover
Really
from
not
yesterday.
impacting your I-70 drive all that
Sun
much.
came out, I'm in my backyard drinking beer. 6 o'clock, and you better get to bed. Now I can have 5 more.
Today, look for a high of 80.
10 o'clock, you better get to
Boy,
bed.
you sound like you're talking about folks in Colorado.
I did that in my 20s, man. I was like, are you kidding me? It's Sunday.
With your impact, traffic and weather.
Yeah, there was a time when we would party all weekend.
And it wouldn't affect you Monday.
And show up for work Monday like still ready to go.
Everybody was chewing bubble
Go,
gum.
go, go.
Up to 50% off select queen bags. Shop now and save.
Sheridan Auto Tech has everything that you want when it comes to auto repairs. First of all, they can do all repairs, including electrical. They have an electrical division. Think about that. That is incredible. And also, they have longevity, meaning they've been in business a long time, and they have convenient locations in Lakewood and Aurora. They have honesty, experience, knowledge, and value as well. Plus, an owner, I call him Uncle Kevin because he's friendly, who treats his customers like family. SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242. That's 455-7242. We discuss selling homes a lot on this show. One of the things people do is they will go to a real estate guy and say, or a woman, and they say, hey, I sold my house within hours. But that's not true, because even after getting an offer and accepting it, you have to go through all kinds of steps and all kinds of procedures and inspections and financing and finance approval. Here's what I'm getting at. If you want a check tomorrow, you want it right away. You don't want to mess with any tire kickers. You might have deferred maintenance on your house. You may not want to fix anything. You just want to sell. Try Homevestors. You have nothing to lose. You don't have to take the offer, but try it. 800-44-BUYER. 800-44-BUYER.
The podcast, What's Your Problem, dives deep into new technology and the challenges facing people at the top of their field. On each episode, Jacob Goldstein, former co-host of NPR's Planet Money, speaks with the entrepreneurs and engineers creating innovations in medicine, artificial intelligence, and more.
We didn't have a particular technology. We didn't have a business model. We didn't have a way of making money. It was a great way to start a company. I highly recommend it.
Listen to What's Your Problem on the iHeartRadio app.
I think it was Disney. He did about 5 or 6 episodes of going to these cool places around the country and filming. And he was himself. He wasn't like, Yeah, it was pretty good, man.
He seems like a really nice guy.
He went like on water.
Something just
in a cave and a volcano.
It was really So what do you think it was? I don't think the joke was that mean.
I think his old lady saw him laughing at the joke.
She has a condition. She's got a condition.
How long ago she had that affair? I heard about that.
It was a couple years ago, and she broke it right
Well, Donald Trump's got thin hair. People would give him shit about his hair. It's comb over. They give him shit about being orange.
Yeah.
So he's got conditions. And they could feel free to make fun of those conditions.
That comb over and that orange skin are not conditions. Those are choices.
No. I'm not so sure those are choices.
Those are free to make a choice, though.
Yeah, no, those are his choices. But see, for alopecia, it's not a choice.
On Thursday afternoon, March 31st.
That's a condition that she suffers.
I know, but it's like, hey.
That's registercolorado.com.
I suffer from...
Jen's mother said Will Smith slapped him, too. These guys are going over the edge. I love it.
How about window? How about save up to $1,600 on interest door?
I have a condition, xenophobia.
Hey,
I'm afraid
how
not
does
to
it
claim
taste?
my plate.
How does phobia taste?
It's not bad. I enjoy it.
Through the roof. Let's face it, you have both know suffering.
I'm afraid to leave my plate and any food on it. Can't, it's just a phobia.
There's no better time
And then, by the way, Will and Jada have agreed to allow people physically into their life.
What is that?
What? No, they're not.
They have.
No, they're
Cheat
not.
with each other? They have an open marriage?
They pretty much, yeah.
Polyamorous.
I'm not gonna call it polyamory.
Poly, they all live together.
No.
I'm not gonna call it poly anything. I'm just gonna say
That's
that
polygamy.
you have agreed to allow that.
Yeah, polyamorous is just an open marriage.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Swingers. Yeah, but a lot of times they could be with guys or girls too.
Well,
Tom, the whole little problem is your generation.
But then, when you're talking to your friends,
Your generation
shit about.
They did blow shit up.
You mean we did what?
Your generation went from being the Jesus loving Christian right to
No, the children of the Jesus loving.
No. You know, I was listening to...
No. But my generation is still sticking to their guns, most of them. They haven't become weirdos.
American Top 40, 1974. You know what was in the top 10 songs in 1974? The Lord's Prayer by some lady. Top 10. What happened? Yeah. What happened to that?
Progressives.
So you guys created you guys went from Jesus loving, right, to the swingers, to now the VCR was the babysitter, to politically incorrect to say anything, to mass hysteria right now.
That's not us. That's the new generations, bro. They're the ones doing all the politically correct shit. I don't know how you can say that.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, listen, We have Paul the Waterman with us talking about the quality of water and drinking water and cleaning water and laundry water and any other water you want to talk about. Hydration. Seriously, if you have any questions, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I also want to talk about anything on your mind. If you think someone's lying to you, cheating you, ripping you off, give us a call. Now, here's the deal. We have had low power. A lot of people were calling saying we're off the air. We had low power because there was some maintenance being done at the tower. We're back up to full power. So if you're just tuning in or tell a friend, you can get back on and ask questions. 303-713-TALK. We talked about joint fence agreements or the lack of joint fence agreements. And so if you put up a fence and your neighbor doesn't chip in on the other side of that fence, they get all the benefit. And I said, that's a very difficult thing to deal with because they will get the benefit. No matter what you do, they will get the benefit. So what do you do about it? Maybe you make a bright, ugly color on their side. Well, that would probably be against, I'm just kidding. That would be against covenants, by the way. Of course, you could always slap your neighbor in the face. I'm just joking because of what happened at the Academy Awards. Let me ask you something. What do you think would have happened if someone else did that slapping? Do you think that slap was overlooked? Do you think it was overlooked for any special reason? I want to know that. What do you think? Or do you think, I think they would have overlooked no matter who slapped who. Except, no, I don't think so. No. If a white guy slapped a black guy, it would have been World War III. If a white guy slapped a white guy, nothing would have happened. Black guy slaps a black guy, nothing happens. If a woman slapped a woman, nothing would happen. If a man slapped a woman, forget it. He'd be arrested. If a woman slapped a man, nothing would happen. What do you think? Like
you left out.
Which one?
You left out a white guy slapping a black guy.
No, I just did.
You did?
I said
I said
it would be. I said if a white guy slapped a black guy, it'd be World War III. Not just on the stage, but the guy would be called a racist and be arrested and all of that.
If a white guy slapped a black guy.
Absolutely.
Okay, now what about what a black guy slapping a white guy? He'd have died before he got off the stage.
No, he would have been arrested. No, that would have been the same thing. If a black guy hit a white guy, it would have been World War III.
He got off the stage.
I don't know if he'd die, but he'd be taken off. So would the other way around, I think. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
It's got nothing to do with anything.
By the way, I never looked at it as a race thing until I went to Twitter. I wasn't
movie stars. That's all this is.
I know.
If one movie star slaps another movie star during the Oscars, no one goes to jail.
Mark, I don't know, but no, that's not true. If a white guy slapped a black guy, that white guy would be arrested.
During the Oscars?
Yes.
And they're both
or security would ask him to leave. Security.
I think that's more likely arrest.
Security would ask him to leave, and the people would be all over it. But here's what I want to say. I looked at this as a ridiculous thing that it happened. I thought Chris Rock was classy, but all I'm going to say is this. I swear to God, I didn't look at it as a race thing. It was the furthest thing from my mind until I just saw two guys. One guy was mad because he joked about his wife. He was laughing a second before that. Then he realized it hurt his wife's feelings. He goes up. But here's something I want to say. For the hell of it, and I never do this, I heard on the news that social media was on fire. So I went there and I did some hashtags. I looked at the Oscar hashtags. I looked at Will and whatever. And I have never seen ever in my life more racist hate remarks in my life. And I can't believe that this hate speech wasn't removed by Twitter. Now, I don't, by the way, think anything should be removed. But Twitter removed Donald Trump. And I swear to God, he wasn't saying anything as bad as these people last night about these two guys. In fact, it was so vile, I don't want to repeat it. But it was all about race and all about black and all about violence and all about that crap. And it was right to the most of the posts had to do with race, most of them. If you look on Twitter and you do hashtags on Will Smith or on Chris Rock or on Will on Chris or on Oscars hashtags, you see hateful, disgusting, racist remarks that I can't believe that in this age of political correctness, they allow that, but they remove Donald Trump. I'm not saying they should remove anybody, by the way. I just don't care. I think we're old enough and mature enough as a society to just go past what we don't want to read, and I don't think a racist, hateful remark is going to make me hateful or racist, and I don't think that Trump's remarks is going to make me violent. I just say everything should be left alone, but what made them decide at Twitter to leave those hateful, racist, disgusting remarks up about those two men?
They still have Putin up. Come on.
But why?
Because they didn't like Donald Trump. They wanted...
Yeah, but racism is a bad thing in everyone's eyes, in progressive and liberals and conservatives and everyone. So why is Twitter being two-faced about this?
Did you see Elon came out and made...
Yeah, but he's not going to do it.
Why wouldn't he?
He says, I'm going to do my own thing, my own...
Why not?
Well, because it's not that easy. Think about Twitter and look at Donald Trump's his social, what is it?
Truth Social.
Okay. It's faltering because of technical difficulties. And Gab... Now,
never heard of it.
Gab, you ought to try it. Now listen, Gab, that's where everything goes, but the only people on Gab, it seems, are nuts. I mean, I don't get it. You got Twitter, that's one way. You got Gab, exactly the opposite.
How about Getter? That's a new one I heard on the radio last night.
And then Pollard was nixed by the servers. They can't even get on. They can't even get into cyberspace. You see, liberals control cyberspace in general. In general. They control it. They control all of the servers. They control all of the backbone. Did you know that, Mark? Is that chilling? It started with universities, then it went to Amazon services and Google. They control most of the backbone. Think about it, right? Technically. And so they can probably nix anything they want at the server level. But I digress. What I'm talking about now is, why is Twitter inconsistent on the hateful remarks they will allow? Why? Why? That's what I want to know. If you read those Oscar remarks, it will shock you.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The ramps from northbound and southbound I-25 trying to get on.
Let's see if it's still there.
Trash truck there tipped over.
See what I would do, Paul, if I had an argument with a black guy, I would pay to leave to slap him. So there wouldn't be a racial problem, and I wouldn't get in trouble.
Doc, that could backfire on you.
How?
When I went to slap him.
No, he's a white guy.
No, watch this. When I went to slap him, I'd likely get you.
I would be at home having a cocktail while you went to do my dirty work.
Oh, so you think I'm that easy? You ain't got enough
everybody
money.
has a price to leave.
No, everybody could have a price.
Everybody's got a price.
Everybody could have a price.
Everybody's got a price.
Everybody could have a price.
Okay, give me an example of someone that doesn't have a price.
Donald Trump.
Depends on what you're trying to buy from me.
Ideal home loans for your next ideal home loan. You hear me say that. What do I mean by that? It's ideal because, first and foremost, they listen, then they lend. They want to pick the right loan for you. That's why they have salary-based mortgage officers, because they want the right one for you. In other words, you might want a 15 or 30, or you might want to pick whatever term you want. It doesn't have to be back to 15 or back to 30. It can be whatever you want. They also have the interest rate guarantee. So when you refinance, they will refinance you free of charge if rates go down over the next 2 years by just 0.75%. And every time you close, you get a new 2-year guarantee. Plus, they have the pre-approval, which is like a cash deal. So if you did that, the money set aside, you out and find a house, they can close within days. There are so many benefits with Ideal Home Loans, including credit optimization. Even though you're approved, they can make it even better for you and get you better pricing. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. You know, these next two things have to do with retirement especially getting an estate plan together. Blake Harris Law will answer all of your questions. And what I love about Blake, he doesn't charge for the answers. He simply charges flat rates for what he does for you. And he'll quote them all up front. Ask your questions. Do you need a will? Of course. Do you need a trust? Maybe. What about a payable on death certificate to stay out of probate altogether? Maybe a beneficiary's deed as well. 833-ASK-BLAKE. And then I said it's about retirement. What about retirement money? Everyone wants an income in retirement, and you don't want to depend just on Social Security. Here's a way you can do that. MyMoneyMyWay.com. You can learn about overfunding life insurance for a tax-free account or an annuity that guarantees you income for life. You can buy these things a little over time or with lump sums from other plans. You may be the one who wants to secure your income. Secure it now. MyMoneyMyWay.com.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine
or personal hygiene. Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the
So who do you think's got the #1 rated news show in the metro area?
The #1 what?
Morning news show.
In Metro?
In Metro.
In Metro area, #1 rated news
It
show.
should be Channel 9 because they suck.
I'm going to say Fox 31.
No, 9 is the #1 rating.
Are you
Got the
sure?
#1
I don't
rating,
think
but-
so.
I'm absolutely
but
positive.
it's-
9 has the #1 ratings for local news.
Lavage isn't medicine. It's more like
Okay. About TV,
But they don't suck too far this way or too far that
They
way.
are-
Yeah, they do. They go too far to the left bad.
They go too far to the left. Bad.
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 So you can
Bad.
breathe better,
Bad.
sleep deeper, snore less.
I'm saying it's bad.
As bad as Fox is too far to the right.
Fox is neutral. Fox 31 is neutral.
At Lavage.com, Walgreens, CVS.
I love it.
Okay, do you know Channel 9 did a show? You know what? Did you realize that dieting
New ways to save big.
is
United's offering 1%
racist?
Well, okay, what do you judge it on? That's another question.
Dieting is racist. Yes, who? Channel 9.
Channel 9.
That's the dieting is racist.
They did that spot.
Most unique visitors for 12 months is KDVR.
All right, well there.
That's Fox.
Conditions and restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA. Belco. Banking for everyone.
As a parent,
Then they were going after the Douglas County School Board right when they had the uprising, and they were telling everybody, well, they can't be recalled because they're 6 months in office. They get a big deal because they fired one guy, and then they hired this other. It's just like enough's enough. Are you kidding me?
Secure your family's financial future today.
See, it's tough in my house because my wife is a hardcore Democrat.
Okay.
Hardcore.
Okay.
Right? My wife. It kills me.
Hardcore.
You live in a house where you're both divided.
Yeah. Yeah, we get, I mean, it's all right. We love to get along, but she's like, every time something's bad, like to go by the guy, I said, you voted for that.
My wife defends HOAs.
Yeah, it's just,
She defends HOAs.
I do too sometimes.
Well, but I understand her defense.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular.
That is the strangest damn commercial song I ever heard. I thought that was our music going.
yeah, I thought we were getting
It
ready.
was a goddamn ass
Then I
commercial.
heard Sharpie toilet paper. But you know what she did do for me because, you know, we traded off her votes? She did vote for Romney.
Tune to Peace to You.
Really? Yes, I got her to do that.
This Sunday.
Hey, these
Peace
are
to You
important.
brings you encouragement and a fresh, uplifting start to your week. Peace to You comes every Sunday, right here on 630 KL at 7:30 a.m.
Well, these aren't even
Major
close
League
to being
Baseball
big.
legend and Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. will be this year's speaker at the Boy Scouts Breakfast at Ball Arena on April 6th. Details and registration at denverboyscouts.org/sportsbreakfast.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. We got another hour to go. I hope people tune in because we were at low power. I want to keep reminding people that we're back. And if you're listening online or on an app and you want to turn the radio back on, you can do that. Or, of course, YouTube, Facebook, or the iHeartRadio app. 303-713-TALK is the number to call, 303-713-8255. We have Paul the Waterman with us. We've had various questions about that. And really, it all boils down to this. We use water for washing, for the washing or washing, as some people used to say when I was growing up, for washing or for drinking. That's it, right? Washing and drinking. So, can you use the same water for washing and drinking? Well, the better washing or cleaning water is soft water. The better drinking water is a filtered water to get rid of the dissolved solids and to get rid of the chlorine and to get rid of, whatever, and to make it really good drinking water. Now, a reverse osmosis system under a sink that Paul does for under $1,000 will give you all the drinking water you want. And Paul, that is a softened water and a purified water all in one, right?
Correct.
It's great for drinking, great for health, great for absorption. There's really nothing wrong with that water.
Correct.
Now, for the whole house, if you're softening, you would eliminate, what would you do? For the kitchen, you would be putting softened water into that under sink mount, right?
Right. And so then you're allowing under the sink filter, the reverse osmosis to filter out other
stuff.
Contaminants, right? Make it occupied, right.
But for washing and plumbing and skin and all of that, that softened water is good.
Correct, absolutely.
And it is good. It's better for your skin. It's better for your laundry. It's better for cleaning, both laundry and cleaning in the shower. Soaps last longer. It's better all-around water, and a whole house system is right around $2,000. As for a drinking fountain, it's only it's under $1,000 fully installed. So that's waterpros.net. We have another hour to go with any consumer problems, questions, and complaints. 303-713-TALK.
You ever feel like when you're at work?
Everything you say.
So, Mark, check this out. So when you have really, really super hard water, a single tank water softener is limited. It won't get it all out. There's like a 10% leak. So then I just came up with this design of a stacked tank. I basically got two separate tanks, right? And so when it goes to the first resin, it gets 80%, and then the second gets the rest, polishes off on one unit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But it stands about 6'3".
But you only have one. It's going
tank.
through one tank, but then it's going through the same filter again.
Right.
You don't have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then so resin, in theory, resin removes the polisher. So then you could also use it in iron content because you've got a separate tank of resin. So then when you go through the backwash, if it goes counter current, it's going to go bring soft water from the bottom to bridge the top.
Where does the pH come from?
Carbonation in the water.
Well, like my hot tub. Why do I gotta? Why does the pH go up?
Well, it's.
You mean go up over time? You mean?
Yeah, just in the hot tub
without chemicals.
Yeah.
Because when you get in the hot tub, you're not 100% clean. You leave stuff in there.
And also, your natural water will have a certain pH.
And water pH level will rise in water that sits. So if you started out low pH, it's like
what's acidic? Is that high or low? Acidic.
Acidic is low.
So the lower the pH, the more acidic.
Yeah, the more aggressive it is.
The higher the pH, the more
alkaline.
And do you put alkaline in?
You can.
Yeah, okay.
High alkalinity.
You have to in a hot tub.
They can burn your skin though. Too much of it is bad to drink and also can create skin irritation.
But if the alkaline's really off, no other chemicals will work. In other words, if you use pH up or down and your alkaline's fucking super low, the pH up or down doesn't work. You have to have the alkalinity in fucking check before the other chemicals.
Yeah, but I thought up and down pH does adjust alkalinity.
Well, it does. There's alkalinity and there's but there's a powder that you can add. I forget the name of it. It escapes me to help with that.
How often do you test yours?
Ours is only after the fucking kids have friends over. That's about it. We just let it do its own thing.
So when you pee in the hot tub, does that make it alkaline or acidic? That's the question.
Depends what's in your pee.
Pee's gonna be acidic. It's sterile.
I'll tell you something. I had a hot tub. I never did any chemicals, zero, because I had that ozonator.
That's what we had.
Best thing. Well, then you shouldn't have to do anything.
You do if you get fucking 6 kids in there.
Well,
I don't give a fuck what they have. Here's the problem. Here's what kills.
But once that ozonator circulates, it'll take care of it.
Here's what kills water, man. Is fucking hair products, skin products, all that shit these fucking kids jump in with.
Yeah, everything in your hair, all that. Yeah,
It's just fucking grease, man. Yeah. Some of it water doesn't break down. I don't know if the ozonator does or not. I'll tell you one thing.
Ozonator is more for like bacteria. It doesn't. An ozone is, is an oxidizer.
I'll tell you the worst thing to spill in your hot tub. The worst goddamn thing. Well, maybe not the worst, but you basically end up changing your water. Fucking milk.
What? What are you talking about?
It's not soluble. It'll change the color of your fucking water.
What?
Milk. The filter doesn't get it. Nothing gets it.
Mm.
Milk does not leave your fucking hot tub.
Just take some bleach tabs in there. And
milk is water soluble.
It is. You know why the zero-res machine is so effective?
No, I wonder what are they doing to the water?
It's reverse osmosis water. It's water that's aggressive. So it's RO water, and so that's what I was saying. That'll eat up any stain. That's what it is.
I think you can pay your taxes with a credit card. I'm sure the IRS takes credit cards.
Yes. I'm sure you can.
Why wouldn't they? I think they charge you. Yeah. Yeah, you can pay taxes by credit cards right over the phone, directly with the IRS.
So I have a question. Have you guys heard about Biden's tax on unrealized gains?
That's a killer right there.
Is that even legal?
It's gonna
You know what though? I'm sorry. The credit cards with the IRS, I bet you anything it's booked as a cash advance. I bet it's super high interest.
So how can they, if you buy a stock, the price is variable. I don't think it's legal to pick at some point what the value is until you sell it.
You have to.
What are you talking about?
Biden wants to tax it. You have a stock
future gains.
You have a stock of a company.
Oh, virtual gains.
Yeah, that you bought for $20.
Right, that's right.
And now it's $100, but you haven't sold it. He wants to tax you on that $80 increase.
I know.
Which is
Well, he's
insane.
fucking full of shit.
And then it dips on you.
Right.
Yeah, but some of these guys can move the market.
What do you mean?
December, in Bezos has 1 billion fucking shares of Amazon, and he decides on December 25th he's going to sell 1 billion shares of Amazon. That fucking stock's going to tank.
Right. Well, no, what I'm saying is that the stock is volatile. So if you buy it,
Well, especially the scenarios we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's crazy that volatile.
he wants to tax you on what it's worth on December 31st.
Yeah, unrealized gains,
Yeah,
which is insane.
I agree.
If you're looking to buy a home but want to skip all the stress, it's time for a mid-game adjustment. Orchard lets you move.
So we're going to go after those billionaires
and millionaires,
and we're going to tax them on money they didn't make. We'll show them.
Sound like Chuck Rhodes to me.
Ooh, you thought about making money? You owe us money.
A Clinton appointed judge in California says Trump corruptly attempted to obstruct Congress. And that's not what it is. You know, he makes that statement, but that's not what he was doing.
See, I think what's going to happen is they're going to.
They're just trying to keep him out of the office.
They're going to convict Trump.
On what?
Wait, on some trumped-up felony charge.
I don't think they'll ever convict ex-president.
Wait, you let me finish. They're going to convict him, then the president's going to commute the sentence, so he never spends a day in jail, but because he's a convicted felon, he'll never run for president.
You'd never see it. Then as soon as the Republicans in, they'll go after every Democrat. That would be insanity.
It's the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom
Martino. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom. We are here discussing any and all things. I want to make this mandatory announcement because if you turned in earlier or if you had people tune in, said we were off the air, and now you're tuning in and you hear us, we had lower power for the first few hours, and it's fixed now. We can take your calls. Oh, we were always taking your calls anyway. And we were streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the iHeartRadio app. And, of course, the podcast will still be posted. So if you want to give us a call with a problem, a question, or complaint, you can at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255 for anything on your mind. We also have a special guest today, and that is Paul the Waterman from waterpros.net, talking about the difference between reverse osmosis, regular filtration, refrigerator filters, soft water, what's good for plumbing, what's not, and everything water. And as I said, he has the best prices on the best systems. That's it. The lowest prices on the best systems, and that's a fact, Jack. So if you have any questions on water, call us, or if you simply want to talk about a problem, question, or complaint, give us a call. One thing I want to tell you about is SaferNet, and the reason I just got some positive reviews on SaferNet. They didn't know where their kids were surfing on the internet and found out quickly from SaferNet, was able to shut down a very dangerous site. Do you know when you get SaferNet on your computer or your home network or anywhere, you can control just about anything? Now, here's what I want to tell you. SaferNet.com is not just for kids. SaferNet.com is for you. For example, here's how it works. If you have a laptop, if you have a tablet or a cell phone or a desktop, you install the app on each device you want it to protect. And you only spend a couple bucks for each device to protect them. It'll protect them against everything. And it's a live, constant protection. It's not something that, you have to have updates for. It's live. It's on your computer, always protecting you. Or on your cell phone from attacks. SaferNet.com. Just a few bucks for each device. Download the app at SaferNet.com. It runs in the background. So, anyway, we've been talking about some of the things that people are complaining about. One was when you move into a place and there's a fence, who maintains the fence? Now, if it's already there on the property line, this is something I did not talk about. I only talked about when you put up a fence, it's yours. It's yours to maintain. Without a joint fence agreement, it's yours. Yes, the neighbor benefits from it, but it's yours. Now, you don't have to leave it up, but it's yours. Now, when you don't have, when something is already there and you move in, your HOA or the subdivision should have bylaws and what's called a joint fence agreement to outline what and how, well, first of all, how it's paid for and what can be done. But make sure of that. So don't just assume if there's a fence between you two that both of you are automatically going to be fair about it. Now, it could be that the HOA takes care of all of it and you don't have to worry about any of it. Let's talk about water quality in Commerce City. Zach, go ahead. What's going on with you, Zach?
Good afternoon, guys.
Hey.
I had a question regarding the new water filtration site that's going up for Commerce City residents.
Okay.
And my question was, how long should I expect until I actually notice a improvement in the taste and quality of my water? I know I got a lot of buildup and stuff in my lines.
What is Commerce City doing?
I believe they're building a new water filtration site. I was hoping
But that's not going to. Well, I mean, Paul, what is water filtration at a municipal level? They do a pretty good job, right?
Well, I wouldn't say they filter out all, obviously, the harmful stuff, right, that's in the water treatment plant, and then they sanitize it per EPA standards, and it's with a chlorine and ammonia mixture they call the chloramine. And so to answer your question, the water source is going to be the same. And so, I would expect the same quality of water. It's just they're trying to, have another facility to keep up with the growth, but the water source is the same.
The water is not going to all of a sudden with a better facility be better. It's just going to be more capacity.
Right, and the taste is based upon the quality of water that they're dealing with, and so water is sanitized with the chloramine, and so based upon the quality that's being sent to you, you're gonna, it's gonna affect the taste because of that disinfection process that they do.
And do you know, Zach, there are some things, I never knew this until I talked to Paul, that aren't filtered. They're just diluted.
Exactly correct.
No, talk about that. All
the cleaning chemicals, all the soaps, everything that we put down the sink, it does not disappear. It's not removed. They count on a dilution process, and the older the society becomes, and look at back east.
But wait a minute. You're telling me in the water, it's a closed water system.
It's not. So check this out.
Well, it is. It's closed.
But where do they get it from, and where does it go back out? So let's just use hypothetically. Denver takes it from the Platte, dumps it right back into the Platte. Aurora takes it from the Platte, dumps it right back into the Platte. I thought
they take it from the Platte, then it goes through the houses into the sewers and drains and goes back into treatment.
Back to treatment, but right back out. It's not recirculated. Commerce City.
Wait, it's not recirculated.
No, now
Wait. You mean we treat water and put it back into the Platte?
Exactly correct.
And then the Platte. What if we had wells instead of the Platte? Are there municipalities that just do wells?
Well, then, yeah, they take it from the well water, goes to the, once you flush the toilet or whatever you dump down the sink, goes to the treatment plant.
Then where?
Then it's dumped right back out to the Platte, to the river, or to, the reservoirs that they are building.
So eventually everything is recirculated.
Exactly correct.
But so you actually have in water things that show up like prescription drugs?
Absolutely correct. Pharmaceuticals are a big problem.
Now, wait a minute. So if you went out and took the Platte River and you tested it, there would be some diluted prescription drugs.
Absolutely.
Come on.
No, think about it. I mean, where does this all go? Every time you flush the toilet, right, where does that water go? It goes right to the water treatment plant. They're not taking anything out but the solids.
Hold on. They're just taking out literally the solids.
That's it.
They're not filtering it?
They can't. There's no way. The process this is a nanofiltration process. They're dumping it right. The EPA on the website basically says if you live in well water, it's your responsibility. Okay, so the municipality has guidelines and acceptable guidelines on what's allowed in the water.
No, but I'm shocked, though. It's not a closed loop system.
No.
So you have water that you use, and if you throw out drugs down the drain or you pee drugs or whatever, you're telling me that there's enough drugs put down a drain that eventually go to the water plant, and the water plant simply takes out literally the solids, the toilet paper, and all that stuff.
Correct.
But they don't filter it.
No.
Wait, come on. Hold on. A water treatment plant does not filter.
No.
Okay, so all of those drugs and stuff, the only saving grace is it's diluted. How is it diluted?
Based upon the volume.
How diluted?
Diluted means that what's the body of water they're drawing it from, they're putting it back into.
So it goes back into that body of water, and where do those drugs go?
Well, it stays in the water forever.
They don't settle to the bottom of the Platte or something?
It's a liquid.
Okay, so hold on.
Well, but they do add chlorine to it at some point.
But
that chlorine does not kill prescription drugs, Mark.
Doesn't dilute the chemical.
That's what he's saying. All it does is kill bacteria and stuff. Okay, so now they take the water back out of the Platte after they've dumped it in, but then you have new fresh water, presumably. And that they treat before they send to houses, right?
Correct.
But that's different than the water treatment. Water treatment is for sewage. What do they call it when they pull it out of the Platte to send to houses? What plant is that?
That's the same. That's the water treatment plant. The water treatment plant basically, think about this.
Wait a minute.
Let me finish my thought. So the water we have today is the same water that we had in the beginning of the planet's existence.
Right.
So think about what they do in the oceans. They dump garbage.
Okay, but you're not understanding me, Paul.
I get the question.
If they draw fresh water out of the Platte to send to homes, you're telling me they run it through the same treatment plant that the sewer is run through.
So the water, sorry, different buildings.
So it's different kinds of treatment.
Right.
One's taking out solids and redumping in the Platte. The other one is taking it out of the Platte, and what are they doing to it?
They're injecting it with total chlorine content.
That's it? Do they filter it?
Well, some filter. Some municipalities run it through a filter. Some claim they have, some high-end municipalities have a reverse osmosis that they say they
Okay,
filter the water.
so there are better communities than others for water.
Right.
What's some of the better communities you found?
Well, as far as the hardness aspect, some like
not just hardness, but purity.
The purity, I wouldn't say purity. It's just I don't believe water is 100% purity anymore. It's just not.
Okay, better drinking water then.
I'd say that the folks up in Louisville.
Good drinking water.
Yeah, Louisville is naturally soft water. Parts of
does Denver have pretty good drinking water?
Denver, and on average, yeah. I mean, their water hardness is about some of Denver 7 grains.
But when I say drinking water, you say hardness. I'm talking about just drinking water in general, not just hardness.
So hard water affects everything. So that's why I'm
okay.
Okay, but the drinking water quality, I tell you what, every water district is responsible for publishing a water report.
Okay.
Trihalomethanes and dioxins are all in water.
Okay.
So that's because of the chlorination process.
Right.
So everything that's in your water is published. You'll see it there for yourself.
How do I see it?
You go on your water district. Who's your water district?
Well, whatever. Just pick one.
Yeah. All right. So you go to Denver Water District. You go online and they publish the report. And so they do a test, and they show you everything that's in the water.
But I guess what I'm asking is, are there better municipalities than others?
Well, I'm sure there is.
Okay. Anyway, okay. I don't know who to take next, so we'll take this break. Kenny, I'm going to come right back to you. I didn't see you there, okay? Kenny? Hello? I'll come right back to you, man, okay? Right after this. Thanks.
Smarty Pants, that is the basic statistical inference, the application of it. I can do my sample. If I can evaluate my sample, take my question.
American Restoration. That's really an important name for you to remember. If you've ever had a fire, flood, mold, unattended death, maybe even a meth lab in one of your rentals or some kind of property insult, you need someone to stop the damage, stop it, and then mitigate it, of course, and get rid of the toxic mold or get rid of the water or get rid of all the harmful stuff and then even possibly rebuild. Now, of course, American Restoration will do as much or as little as you want. Work with your insurance company, and it will be an honest assessment and honest cleanup. They have all the EPA certifications. Now, you may, well, Tom, if insurance is paying for it, what do I care? You do care. Because if they do a bad job getting rid of this stuff, and then you, like you had a sewer backup or something, and then you call your insurance, they're going to say, tough, we already paid it. They don't pay it again. So you got to get it right the first time, and you can trust American Restoration. They are great. American Restoration 24/7. Do you want to know about them? They're the best because that industry is riddled with liars, cheats, and ripoffs. AmRest247.com or 8337-AM-REST. Okay. You've heard me talk about reverse loans. Why? Because for an older person, it's a viable option for getting the equity out of your home and living on it instead of selling your home. And if you have excess gain, you're not going to pay any tax on it. You can just borrow until your heart's content. You'll never be upside down. And when you reach your limit, you can even refi if your house went up in value. Most of the time, that's what happens. And even after that, there's equity left at the end. But listen, get the right loan first. Approval Reverse can help you. Joan Sullivan and her team. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528.
How long will this bull market last? What will the next recession look like? Are you financially prepared? Visit my website now at kurtcambier.com for your
portfolio analysis. That's Kurt with a K, CAMBIER.com.
So, as they take the water and they test it, they have to lab. For example, remember Inglewood not too long ago had a bacteria issue? to their other boil order. That went through the city's water plant, right? So then that means there was a failure at their disinfection, where you inject chlorine. Right. So that means that only thing they're doing is water is pumping. They're injecting the amount of chlorine based upon the water analysis and the total number of people they have to reach. So the person that's at the very end has to have the EPA recommended allotment of total chlorine content. So the folks that are closer to the water district have more. So that's, and so when you're talking about, there was a community, I forget where kids were growing breasts because of all the estrogen in the water supply.
But it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually,
what about fluoride? Fluoride's a natural, element in water, but it's added because of what? We brush our teeth.
3% of Americans every week. That's Google. More than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials.
And then once the chlorine's done, it kills everything. The chlorine effectively evaporates and goes away.
Not anymore because of the ammonia. So they used to, but what was happening is the bacteria and these bugs were becoming resistant because of chlorine evaporating. So they added the ammonia to it, called it the chloramine, and the two stick, and it's forever. I figured that out several years ago. I went down to a retirement game in Springs, and they gathered the samples, and I was testing it for total chlorine, and it was like, and when they told me, well, we collected this overnight, I was surprised. That's when I first learned about chlorine. So a lot of everything that you get is just on the field experience. And then total chlorine content requires 2 different filter medias to remove. That's why they're trying to improve the carbon filters. Carbon filtration is the most overused filter media in the market today. Every department, and the quality of the filters have to be in consideration because they come from Asia. You think the Chinese really give a shit about our filters?
They don't give a shit about anything they say.
No. But would you trust the Chinese in giving a filter that you're going to drink?
That reminds me, I was reading an article about their trying to come up with a male contraceptive. The only people who are going to use that are married couples. Because I can tell you, there's not one single woman that I know that's going to trust the guy. That, oh yeah,
What is it?
I took my.
Is it a pill?
Yes, supposedly they're working on it.
Oh, I got you.
But to me, it's been thrown away.
No, you're right, because the guy doesn't get pregnant.
Right, and no woman's going to trust. Oh yeah, I took my pill this morning. Bullshit. I better take my own pill or use a condom or something else.
That is kind of weird. I didn't even. You think they'll actually develop one?
Yes, yeah, they are. They are, but it's going to have a very limited market.
Okay, says, for God's sake, we can't let Joe run this country. Bring on. Crazy, come on. That's so weird.
This report is sponsored by AAA Colorado Insurance.
Worst president in my lifetime. I know. Making Jimmy Carter look like the Wonder Man.
You guys want to get perspective. Listen to Old Time Radio podcasts. Listen to what it was back in the 40s, the 30s, and even the 50s, and let them talk.
Well, tell us about it, Doc.
It's just,
I was a young whippersnapper then. We couldn't afford a radio.
Did you have a radio when you first remember shit like that?
No, you know what I remember the first thing is coming home and watching my mother watching me.
3713 talk. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Kenny, you have an insurance claim question. Go ahead, Kenny. What's happening, man?
So I basically woke up one morning and basically my car was stolen.
Ooh.
And basically I called my insurance and they basically told me that I didn't put down, I forgot how to pronounce it, like that.
Wait, so hold on, Kenny, you did not have the insurance coverage you thought you had?
Yeah, because basically when we applied for it online, they said that we have full coverage. So I was like, all right. So me and my lady, we over here like, okay, well, if we have full coverage, then the insurance is gonna take care of it.
What's the name of the insurance company, Kenny?
Root.
Root?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had online insurance called Root.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and how long ago?
This happened like 2 days ago with the incident of the car being stolen.
When did you have? How old is the policy?
The policy is probably like 2 weeks or a week of having it.
Oh man! And it was stolen from outside, and they said, "Sorry, you don't have theft insurance."
Yeah.
And do you have a copy after you bought your insurance online? Did they send you any kind of policy number or proof of insurance or any policy?
Basically, the information what they gave us, because this is our first time dealing with like stuff like this, so I didn't know anything really about insurance.
All right,
So
Kenny. Okay, then let me ask you something, Kenny. Was this car financed?
Yes.
If it was financed, your lender would have made sure that I thought that you had the proper coverage. Didn't they tell you what kind you needed?
No, because when we was trying to call them, it was on the weekend, so we couldn't. They wasn't open. So when we called them today, trying to figure out with the insurance part, that's when they was like, "Well, you don't have that in your insurance that covers you."
What did they say you did have? What kind of coverage did you have?
They said that if you get into a car wreck or if you hit them or if vice versa.
Yeah.
Then you will be qualified for,
but comprehensive and theft, if you have collision coverage and you have liability coverage, they're saying you don't have theft coverage.
Yeah.
That's too
He
weird.
He doesn't know what he has, man. That's all.
Yeah, but how would he get it financed? Who's the finance company?
Global Lending Service.
Okay, and did you get that through the deal? Okay, and
actually, no, I tried to call them, but when I called them, they said that they're open Monday through Friday. But when I called, I called them 3 times and basically saying that they're closed.
Did they arrange it through the dealer?
The dealer is JFR.
Oh, it is JFR. Hold on a second. You went to JFR Cars?
Yeah.
Who'd you deal with there?
Rod.
Rodney's a great guy. Good. Hold on. Suze, let's try to get Rodney on to research this. Because if they financed it and arranged it, I don't know. Let me ask him. Kenny, did JFR arrange the financing?
I'm not really so...
Well, here's what I mean.
What does that mean?
What I mean is this. Did you get your own loan or did the dealer get the loan for you?
The dealer got the loan.
Okay, hold on.
What was the insurance company called?
Root. Hold on. Just hold on. We'll try to figure this out. Okay. Robert, what's going on, Robert?
Okay, you're talking to me. My name is Robert C. James. I've been a candidate for U.S. Congress since the 1st of September, but I've been having many different problems here in Pueblo. I'm a native son of Pueblo, born and raised here, and I ran for Congress 40 years ago as a Reagan Republican. I'm running as a Democrat since the 1st of September, but I've been running
Hold on, Robert. I have a question for you real quick. You're running for Congress, did you say?
Yes, I announced in September, and not one word has been printed in the Pueblo Chieftain, and I've been notifying all the TV stations.
Okay, but did you, Robert, did you also sign up? I mean, did you sign up legally to run? You're an actual candidate.
I'm registered with the FEC out of D.C. since the 11th of January.
Okay, hold on. So running for Congress.
I want to talk about something else. You don't want to talk about politics, but
no, I wanted to ask another question first, Robert. I'd love to answer. I'd love to help you with anything, but I just have a really quick question. Seriously, how do you go from a Reagan Republican to being a Democrat now? How do you do that, and why?
Well, I was a Reagan Republican. I was a Nixon Republican when I went in Vietnam in 1979.
Okay, you were. How do you switch from being a Reagan Republican to a Democrat right now?
I'm a never Trumper.
Oh,
and
I see.
I switched from being a Republican when Trump degraded McCain because I was supporting McCain.
I get it.
Sarah Palin.
I get it. So you like Biden and the job he's doing?
I shook Biden's hand when he was vice president.
I'm just asking a question. So you like the job he's doing?
I favor Biden all the way. I've been backing him all the way.
All right, that's good. You hold on. I'll help you with whatever problem you have. Hold on.
I wouldn't vote for this guy regardless of
Now
his
listen.
politics.
Hold on. Turn off that mic. 1 second.
30 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Definitely want to keep your eye on I-25 northbound at I-70. The on-ramp is closed. A rolled-over trash truck is the issue. Traffic is very heavy, and the stop-and-go speed started about 38th Avenue. On 225 northbound at Colfax, emergency roadworks being done. Stop-and-go traffic from Mississippi. Your Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly sunny and mid to lower 80s today. Mid to upper 40s tonight. Showers likely tomorrow and possibly a thunderstorm. 60 for the high. Wednesday, there's a slight chance of snow and 50 and windy. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Katie Mitchell, 630 KHOW.
Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters. Shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
You know the impression, the word empower, and the impression it gives you. It's to gain power, to have control. Empower Reverse Mortgage, that's what they do. They empower older people to get the equity in their home and to use it the right way so they don't have to pay tax on it and they have some extra income later in life. Listen, life is hard enough. You don't have to leave equity, but the good part about a reverse loan, if it's done the right way, there will still be equity at the end, and you'll never be upside down in the house. But you need to get someone that you trust, and I trust Empower Reverse Mortgage. Mark and his team with Empower, EMPOWER, empowerreverse.com. He can counsel you through it and tell you what would best fit your needs, monthly payments, a line of credit, or maybe a lump sum. In some cases, he has loans that can go down to 55 years of age. 833-502-3100. 833-502-3100. TheArtOfGranite.com is a website where you get to learn about Mitch Floria and his team, and then they'd be glad to give you a price on the phone. Visit TheArtOfGranite.com. They're in Golden. They do not just granite, but any natural stone plus man-made materials, any counter you want. They charge wholesale for materials. They tear out and haul away free. They do the bathroom vanity free when you have the kitchen done. And they'll give you that price right now. 303-386-5919. 386-5919.
When the intense pain caused retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez to literally drop.
He knew it was time to find help for relief. That's when he turned to QC Kinetics.
I just got this excruciating pain in my elbow. I just couldn't hold it. I had you come.
Someone was telling me
QC Kinetics treats that chronic pain in your
that
knees,
they
hips,
voted
shoulder,
for
back,
Biden
and elbows
because
with non-surgical regenerative
they didn't
treatments.
like
Your body
Trump.
actually
You know how many people did that, Mark?
A lot.
A lot of people. It was an anti-Trump vote, not a pro-Biden vote.
I bet they're all wishing they didn't do that.
As for Jose,
I noticed an incredible amount of relief. The pain has subsided, and
But part of the problem was that the man got beat up for everything. Russia.
Never happened.
I know.
No, it was all bullshit.
That's right.
And it turns out, who's in bed with Russia, and we knew it from the beginning, is Biden.
Hunter's laptop. That was you talk about rigging an election, that's a conspiracy, it was real.
I don't think
He's in love with
I don't think it was all Russia. I think it was being portrayed as belligerent, misogynistic, and racist.
Say that again?
I think that Trump was being fined more for being aggressive, belligerent, racist, and misogynist more than the Russian thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, not whether he is or not, but how he was portrayed.
Well, that's good, but the problem was is that he lost his temper because he got tired of all the BS, and we saw his friends get ruined financially because of the Mueller probe. I mean, that's just totally. I mean, that's just horrid.
I agree.
People went to jail for nothing. It's dangerous. I mean, when you weaponize, it's just dangerous.
Yeah.
To support your business strategy. But guess what? That kind of stuff's been going on in this country since its
inception.
That's right.
Actually, before its inception, that shit was going on while they was spreading out to make it go on.
And Talib was there, so we can tell you the truth.
But I got there after you, Doc.
Always be challenges to face in business. And no matter where they come from, Insperity is ready to help you.
You guys are the two oldest men I know.
That are still moving.
We acted though. I mean, being I'm in my mid-70s.
Really?
I'm 77. I don't feel like I'm 76.
Isn't that weird how our brains fool us till the day we die?
I feel like I'm 30 years old.
I bet at 85 you don't feel 85.
Probably not.
Tom, you look good though. What old are you? What, 69, 70?
68.
You look good.
On 630K now. Learn how you can earn a full-time income as a
Mark's what, 30-something?
90 weeks.
Saturdays at 11 a.m.
36.
The only thing I've noticed about getting old is my recall isn't as fast as it used to be.
I noticed that when I get older, the hair grows out on my side faster than it does my
No, that's fucking true, man. Mine grows quicker right here now.
Yeah, I got like the clown here.
That's so weird. Why is that?
I don't know.
So now you know why I shaved my head.
Well, I'm gonna start doing that. My God, I get a haircut. I look up, it's like it's just thick up.
Look at fucking Doc's hair. Doc, show him your hair. That's fucking natural.
Oh, that lying son of a...
That's fucking natural. Look at his fucking hair.
Don't even fucking start.
You know what was
and
funny?
it all happens to be one exact color.
You know what's funny is that I remember when my dad started coloring his hair, the bathroom carpet, right? Just it was stained.
I wouldn't care for my hair. At my age, why would I care if I started getting gray hair?
That's his real fucking hair.
Sure.
Tom won't go there. Won't go there.
Sure.
Well, he's real good at never not doing it then.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We're trying to reach JFR Cars to help with Kenny and his situation. We really need to talk to them. We would call a dealer under any circumstance, and especially because they're on the referral list. And we don't think they're at fault here. What we think is, Kenny, here's what we're trying to find out. If that lender was arranged through them, they really want to make sure you have the right insurance. And I can't believe any lender would allow that car to go out of there without rental insurance. I mean, excuse me, without theft insurance, ever. Ever.
Kenny, were you supposed to get your own insurance and you didn't get it, so therefore the dealer put insurance on the car?
Basically, when he told us about the insurance, we told him that we had other insurance to go to. So when I was using my mom's insurance because it was a little bit more cheaper for our price range, because I don't really make a lot.
Insurance. So, Kenny, I want to ask you this then. So that route insurance that you did was yours?
Yes.
It was not the dealer?
No.
Oh, I thought you said the dealer arranged for the insurance. Oh, no, I said, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're right. I asked if they arranged for the, you're right. I asked if they arranged for the loan. Hold on a second, man. I'm going to bring up Rod at JFR Cars. And Rod, listen, this really doesn't have to do with the dealer, but I need information, Rod, just general information. He bought the car from you guys. Kenny did. I don't know if you recall Kenny or not, Rod.
I do.
Okay. He bought a car, and it was stolen a couple weeks later. And then his insurance company is telling him he went on and got root insurance, and they're telling him he doesn't have theft coverage. So I'm wondering, if you arrange the financing, wouldn't they have forced insurance on there for anything he's missing?
Not necessarily, because from what I understand, they gave him the choice to add theft insurance to the policy, and I guess he said no.
No, hold on. Whether he did or not, let's just say he did. Why
I
would
see what you're saying,
Rod, why would a lender allow that?
You can add bits and pieces. The only thing the insurance company or the finance company has, make sure you have full coverage.
Right.
So, you can add window protection. You can have.
No, I get it. I get it, but Kenny,
I don't think that's a part of it.
No, Rod. Here. Hold on. I don't want to get too far. Here's what I'm saying. No lender that I know of, not one lender that I know of, will let a car go out of their lot unless they have 1, collision coverage, 2, theft coverage, and 3, comprehensive. They won't let them do it because if a tree falls on the car, that's comprehensive. A hailstorm, comprehensive. If the car is stolen, all of those cases would endanger the lender. So I don't understand. Like, if I go buy a car, how do you know I have the right insurance to drive away?
Well, because it basically says full coverage, comprehensive, and any of we don't. The banks don't care about some of the other things.
They care about theft, though. They do care about theft, Rod. I don't mean to interrupt you, but they have to care about theft. I mean, otherwise, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, don't. Are you telling me your lenders don't care if I have theft coverage on my car?
It's never been a challenge or an issue for us.
Oh,
this
my
is the first
God.
time I've even heard of it. And even if he doesn't have theft, I would suspect that if the car was total after being stolen, it would still fall in line with being total and damaged, right?
It wasn't total or damaged, was it, Kenny? They haven't found it.
Yeah.
Is that Kenny? Did they find it?
No, they found it, and basically the car it's not drivable anymore.
Okay, they did find it, but isn't that considered theft and not? That wouldn't be collision coverage, Rod.
Well, but if someone doesn't have insurance, right?
Right.
And it was total, so we'll still cover that.
Who will cover
so
that?
The same principle as far as I'm concerned. That's why I wanted to talk to Compass to find out what's the detail and bring some understanding to this, because this has never happened to me.
Kenny, when you got your loan, did you have to show them proof of insurance?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And the proof of insurance did say full coverage?
Yes. Well, it was with my mom's car insurance by that time. And that was with Allstate.
Wait.
He added it to his mom's.
You added it to your mom's. And where did Root come in? What is Root?
Root. So basically, because my mom, she didn't tell us that her insurance got how would you say it? Canceled in a way.
Okay, canceled.
So when we got into a car accident, basically, when I called her and I was like, "Hey, Mom, I got into a car accident, not my fault, but the driver's fault." And I was like, "Hey, do you still have their insurance?" She was like, "No, they canceled." So I was like, "Okay, well that just fucks us over, so we have to go get new insurance." When we was talking about
Hold on one sec. I got that, by the way, Shannon. Hold on. Hold on, Kenny. I had to put you on hold for a sec. All right. Here's the bottom line here. Now he's talking about a car accident he was in. That was before it was stolen. So this gets very complicated. Rod, as I said, this is not a dealer problem. I was just asking about the finance company, what they would require. And I appreciate what you have to add. We have more coming up. I'll come back. And Robert, we'll come back to you as well.
an accident in his car or his mother's car.
Okay.
So just clarify that. I think
Poor guy. I'm on their website. I don't see any kind of like add-on where you have to add theft. That'd be part of comprehensive. You either fucking have it or you don't.
Okay, we gotta ask Compass.
Well then, but why would any lender have?
Oh, God.
A lender that does the audit of the loan is going to say, hey,
This is a guy where we have to see his policy.
That's what we need to get. He needs to get a copy. Of
Comprehensive insurance pays for covered damage to your vehicle caused by anything other than an accident.
Okay,
That's what it says.
Is that from Ruth?
Yeah, that's Ruth.
Okay, you hang in there.
You can save. And Allstate Better Protection.
Maybe he didn't get
costs a whole lot
comprehensive.
less. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Blake Harris Law can help you to get your estate in order. Sometimes that's just a will. Sometimes it's a will and a trust. Sometimes you want to avoid probate altogether. You may get a beneficiary's deed to leave the house to someone, so it's automatic. You can get a payable on death certificate for bank accounts, automatic. You can get other things to leave vehicles. Blake Harris can answer all of your questions free of charge. He only charges flat rates for what he does for you. For all your estate planning issues, call Blake Harris. BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. All right, I'm going to tell you about two real estate people I really trust. First and foremost, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Frank has a team, Team Duran, and they do it all. If you're looking to buy a home, they can help you find the gems, and they can help negotiate it. Frank is a master certified negotiator. He can also help you when homes just go off the market. Frank Duran has some special, really, strategies he uses to find you great deals. He did it for me. He can also, of course, help you sell a home. Frank Duran, the real estate man, and he can show you how he prices and how he negotiates, can get you higher prices and get it sold faster. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Now, when we're talking about real estate, I have to mention O'Brien Legal Services. That's OLSlaw.com. Brad O'Brien can help you stay out of trouble in a real estate deal by reviewing your documents for just a few $100. Or if you have a conflict with eminent domain, adverse possession, possibly an easement, border dispute, whatever it is, or rental issues, you can call if you're a landlord, if you're buying or selling commercial or residential. O'Brien Legal Services, 720-370-7388. 720-370-7388.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine.
Personal hygiene. Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the
I think they're fucking him. I think he does have coverage and they don't want to tell him.
Your nose. After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs. The first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs.
Are you
but
done with
how do you
Roger?
clean your nose?
Did we get?
Yes.
Maybe we should get
Navage
Brian
isn't
on
medicine.
to
It's more like
A little late.
Navage uses power.
Just so you know, it might be tough.
Saline in one nostril to the very
I
back
could
of the
probably
nose
do
where
it.
germs can get trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out
I don't.
mucus and
I've never
microbes
heard
so
of
you can
anything
breathe better,
like what you
sleep
say.
deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid,
Yeah, right
Bed
here.
Bath and Target. Navage.
Root insurance
Who knows?
coverage, comprehensive.
At Charmin,
Repair costs from events outside of your control, including weather events, hitting an animal while driving, theft, vandalism.
Oh, it specifically says theft?
Yeah.
Then they're fucking him over.
No, he probably doesn't have comprehensive.
Oh, right.
He probably got the liability only.
Yep.
So here's what's going to happen.
Is this me?
I think it's the Charmin.
Charmin Ultra
Oh my God. How do you know that?
Because it's fucked with me 3 times now. So that's what. So here's where he's double fucked. He didn't even have forced insurance on there. They're going to come after him for everything. He just trashed his shit. He's fucked. He just trashed his credit. This dude's toast.
And now you can
Man.
get 15% on meetings, chats, and phones with the Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Imagine selling your house and getting paid twice. How's that even possible? To sell your home and get paid twice.
I'll bet you $10 this guy's not a neurosurgeon.
Hey, did you see that fucking cheetah mode? Tell me that isn't fucking badass. Did you watch that in the review, the cheetah mode?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so impressed by that. So the fucking Tesla pulls up, instead of stop, you switch it into not only the insanity mode or the plaid mode, but you also put it in cheetah mode, and it raises it like a cheetah. Okay? Then it actually counts down and launches for you, like if you're drag racing. You were at fucking 60 miles an hour. So fucking fast. It's 1.9 seconds. It looks like this in the camera. It's like done.
I know I was anyway.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. All right.
I think this guy only had liability, Kenny. That's all he had. He didn't have comprehensive.
Yeah, but okay. Here's what I need to know, Kenny. The first thing I need to know. When you bought the car and you got the loan, right? Is that when you went out and got root?
No, we basically, after when the car was basically having some issues after when they took it into their shop to get it worked on. When we got back the car, that's when we switched to root.
Okay. And you switched from Allstate to root, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that was after the loan was approved. So your lender did not know you were switching to root, is that right?
I did tell them that we was going to be switching insurance.
Did they ask you what kind of coverage you got?
When they did ask, I told them that we had full coverage.
Now, why did you, Kenny, why did you believe you had full coverage?
To really be honest with you, because my mindset is not on the right path. Basically say that I have like a learning disability.
No, that's okay, Kenny. That's why we're taking our time with this. Go ahead. Did you ever see anything like your application, or did they ever send you an email that said you were fully covered?
No. On the app, when you look at it, it just says full coverage.
Do you have that app? Can you take a screenshot of that app for me?
Yes, I can.
Kenny, you know how to take a screenshot with your phone?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Pull up the app where it says full coverage, and in fact, pull up the app and send us as many pictures as you can of the app where it tells you what you have, and we will work with you, okay? We're not sure what you have, but if you had comprehensive, it includes theft. Suze, would you talk to Kenny off the air and get him, tell him how he can email us those pictures?
He's probably got an agent. They look like they have agents.
Okay. Well, we're going to try to help you, Kenny. He has a learning disability, Suze, he said. And so, yeah, thanks. Joanne. Hi, Joanne. What can we do for you?
Okay. I just want to verify this. I got a IRS letter regarding a letter number 5071C, and there's so many scams out there. I didn't want to.
Well, I don't know what it is, Joanne, yet. I still don't know what it is. Usually, okay, what are they asking?
There it says, we received an income tax return form 1040S for the tax year above 2021.
Yes.
And my social security number, I suppose.
Right.
And it said that they won't give that refund without identifying me. But I didn't ask for, I haven't even turned my taxes in.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What year did they say this is from?
2021.
Okay, and you never turned in 2021 yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I filed them, but I haven't gone back to sign or anything.
Okay, then it sounds like it's got to be a scam. Is there a way you can send us a copy of that letter and we'll have our expert check it out? In other words,
I don't know how I would do it.
Joanne, do you have a phone where you could take a picture of the front of that for us?
Yeah, I could do that.
And then check the picture to make sure you can read it, and then text it or email it to us. Suzanne will tell you how to do it, and then we'll get you back on to help you. Hold on, all right? Suze, we need to get that. Send her. Okay, now. Okay, so I want to go back to you. You're running for office, Robert?
Yes.
Okay, now listen. You said you had a problem. You said you're running for Congress in Pueblo. You're kind of pissed at the lack of coverage. But what else are you calling about? You said you were calling about something else.
Oh, yes. Just the 14th of March, I got this letter that was dated the 14th. It's from the Pueblo Community Health Center.
And what do they want?
Okay, first of all, I'm a veteran, you see.
Okay. Thank you.
Late January of last year, I got my first COVID injection.
Okay.
From the Veterans Center.
What do they want?
Up on Eagle Ridge.
What do they want?
Well, first of all, I got the first COVID injection in late January.
Okay.
And then I got the following injection with the booster shot.
Got it.
Later the week of January.
Okay.
By the 3rd of February, I went into a 20-day coma. They put 3 stents in my heart. And I'm 71 years old. I had just turned 71.
Are you blaming the vaccination?
I'm blaming the vaccination.
So what do you want done? You're not allowed to sue anybody.
No, but I got the vaccination. So from the 3rd of February until the 5th of July, I went into a revolving door with Parkview. I was in and out of the hospital.
Okay.
Visits.
Okay.
And then by October.
Hold on, okay, Robert. Suze, if we could get Robert, that would help us a lot.
We got to save that one.
We got to save Robert and get him on. Okay, waterpros.net. Don't forget the best for less, and that's waterpros.net. 303-862-5554. We love Paul and his products at the lowest prices. 862-5554.